Yo.
What up, everybody? It is Tuesday, and we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. 3 hours of power with the three amigos, Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. Welcome back, Big B. How we doing? How's the recovery time from your oral surgery yesterday?
I'm good, man. I'll tell you what, bro. I mean, there's nothing worse than your mouth hurting you and your feet hurting you, man. Yesterday, my mouth was killing me. Bro, they had to go in. They had to cut my jaw open. And, you know, I like to keep it real with everybody. I'll show y'all here.
Hey, look, man, nobody want to see all that. Man. Hold up. Yesterday, that picture you sent us with that gaping hole in your mouth, man, you're lucky I wasn't eating, man, because I was regurgitating everything. Man, don't be sending me pictures like that unexpected.
Man, I didn't want you guys to think I was lying. I want the fans to know I'm lying. I mean, the stream got to know, man. I was hurting, man. And
that ain't no joke. That ain't no joke, bro.
Hold on. Let me tell you the story, bro.
Yeah.
I go in, and it's the Ukrainian guy. So I'm like, okay, come in. He's like, all right, well, let's get to going. I'm like, oh, where's the needle at? You know what I'm saying? We need to numb this up. Oh, we don't need to numb. I'll be damned if we don't need to numb this up. We're going to numb this up, bro. Hold on a minute, bro. I don't have – you don't have time? Okay, then burn the road up. You can go. You can go. He was like, you know, oh, no. I said, all right. So the doc came in, you know, she was like, well, you know, I already don't like needles in my mouth anyways. I sucked it up this time. So she went in, she, you know, numbed it up everywhere, waited about 5 minutes. He was getting impatient because he's waiting. Then she had to come in and cut my jaw open where it grew over where the tooth was, where, you know, because they had to go down because the screw had broke off inside to where it's supposed to be logged into. So long story long, she cuts me open. She said, can you see it? No, I can't see it. Yeah, can you see it? No, you have to cut open a little longer. I can't feel anything. All I can feel is pressure. Long story long, they get it open. He can see it. Now he goes in there. But then dude is like grabbing my jaw and ripping my mouth. Like, hold up. So, bro, I literally had to give dude a quick elbow, you know, in the side. Like, I say, oh, sorry. Yeah, damn right you sorry, bro. Calm down, bro. You are not in Ukraine right now, bro. Calm your ass down. You know, and I got all kind of galls and everything. My leg So she.
Now you know what it feels like to have a fish hook. You try to dig a hook.
Yeah, right. It's little revenge from the fish. Yes.
So
I'm like, you know, so he's and the girl is with. She's trying to suction on my mouth, and I'm cussing like, hey man, hold up, man. You know, and my mouth already kind of. I can't feel anything. I'm like, hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the places that ain't numb. He like stretching my jaw and hitting me. Like, dude, be gentle, man. You can at least kiss me. You know what I'm saying? Kiss me. You know, so you just can't go in just, you know. I gotta be ready, dog. I mean, he's really like, I'm like, yo, I had to let him know, man. He's like, you know, so you know, the Dr. Menon was like, well, you know, he's a little rough around. No, he is rough around edges, but I was really ready to smooth him out, bro. I was
Barry, let me get this straight. He was going to do this without any kind of numbing agent. You were just going to go straight digging into your jaw without anything. I think you need a new dentist, my man.
No, the dentist was fine. She was like, no, I gotta do it. He's like, no, we just go in. Like,
well, the specialist, man, whatever.
Yeah, the skin, he's a technician. Oh. See what he back in Ukraine, he was a dentist in the Ukraine, but he comes here and he's not. So long story long. He gonna learn. He had to learn yesterday.
Oh my God!
Bro, now, how are you today, man? Are you really sore? You okay?
I'm good, man. I'm straight, man. You know.
Can't you tell the way he's screaming at the camera? He's all right. He all right.
Bro, he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, he was acting like I was built like that. Nah, bro, I'm not built like that when it comes to my mouth, man. I'm not built like that. I'll be a punk all day when it comes to that. You know, so I go out and choke 400-pound men for 4 quarters. You just not gonna just go in there. He was just ready to just jump right in. Just jump right. Ain't no hole there, bro. My skin then grew over that. During the time that I had when I pulled out when we were on the show, and it was hurting then. On the first show, I had to get out early. From then till Monday, the skin it grew over it. You know, your mouth heals really, really fast.
Yeah, it does.
That's
Yep.
right.
So it grew over it. He was gonna try to go in there and just, bro, you gonna at least kiss me, dog. You can at least kiss me before you just go in. Like
Hey, look here. How many surgeries did you have as a professional football player?
I mean, I don't count, going in and getting scoped as a surgery. But I only had one real major surgery, and that was my knee that ended my career. I have both knees got scoped at least once. My left leg has got scoped like twice. My elbow got scoped twice. My left elbow got scoped twice, and my right elbow got scoped once. They cleaned out my shoulders once, so I don't even count them as surgeries for real.
God, dope. So the surgery that you had, which was more trying, that surgery or what you just described?
What I just described, like, dude, I was ready to cancel this Christmas. He was about to go. We were about to have a homecoming service for him, bro.
Oh my!
You know what I'm saying? He was like really like tripping, man. I'm like, dude, I'm the nicest guy in the world. I like to smile, man, but you keep doing this. Hey,
oh my goodness, man.
Dude. All right. That sounds harrowing, man. That is scary. That is. Oof.
Well,
all right.
I bet he won't try me again. I bet he won't try anybody else like that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think maybe you needed someone else to set you up before your dentist gets in there.
Well, she warned me though. My dentist warned me. She's like, he is a little bit rough around the edges.
But by the way, who wants to hear that before they're about to have oral surgery? Guess what? Your guy's rough around the edges? No,
but
thanks.
He's the best. He's the best, though. He's the best at doing it. Other people come in and they kind of mess up. They might leave something. No, he's the best. So she wanted the best, but she warned me. That's why she told me to get there 15 minutes early. And, of course, I had to go there 5 minutes late. So it was my fault. It was my fault. I take that. It was my fault because she said come in 15 minutes early, and I came in 5 minutes late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'd have got there 15 minutes early like I was supposed to, instead of coming 5 minutes after the top of the hour, then we'd have been straight. We'd have been good.
Okay.
But I didn't. So
all right. Look, I'm glad you're better. You seem to be okay.
Yeah.
I like that you had to almost like throw a bow to the guy. Like just
no, it's not Rob. It's not almost. I threw him a stiff bow, like
yeah, you did. Okay.
Get him above me. I had to get him above me, dog. I mean, he flew back like 2 feet. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I'm glad you're good. I'm
like, dude, this
Eric, we didn't have to bail him out. That's good. Right. I thought it was gonna be one of those deals.
It was almost Rocky 6 in that Joker, bro.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, right. It was almost Rocky 4 with the Ukraine back in the day. We have some good news concerning an already star-studded, packed, jammed, killer JAKIB postgame show.
That's right.
We've
been waiting.
Haven, look who is joining D-Gun, Mike Missinelli, Seth Joyner, Devin Caney, the man himself, Lane Johnson. That's an impressive crew, bro.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Man. We've been sitting on this for a long time. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. Love it. Each and every post, starting obviously September 11th after the game. Lane will be jumping on and sharing his insights after each and every single game. That is a huge get. Check it out.
Look at that. Look at that lineup, baby.
That's
and
killer.
You know he will not hold his tongue.
He don't pull punches. That's the main thing.
No, he'll let you know. Hey, if I got my butt kicked, I got my butt kicked.
Yeah, it won't be the typical corporate answers that you get from a lot of football players.
He won't say butt.
Yeah, no, he won't. Lane can work blue sometimes, but that's okay.
Right.
But that's awesome, man. That is a great get. We just keep adding to this lineup, and we're going to have some more announcements coming up too, because our day-to-day, our Monday through Friday, starting early in the morning until the evening, is going to be Murderer's Row, man, here at JAKIB. It is going to be Murderer's Row. I can promise you that. We got a lot going on, man. So that's really cool news.
Take it over.
Love it, man. The JAKIB Media Posse is growing, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people who don't know, you will know. You will
Here we go,
know.
Barrett. You see this?
Now you know.
Check it out. This is so Philip is on using Mama Brooks's handle. The dentist would be missing some teeth.
See?
Yeah, hey,
Our guy
Phil,
Philip would not have been playing around with that.
I'm the calm one. I'm telling you, that dude, man, I was so proud of him, man, after we got off the phone. I mean,
no, you were relieved. That's what you were.
He
You
was
were
good,
relieved.
man. He didn't, he was calm.
Hey,
So,
Philip, since you're listening, let me ask you the question. If you had been in Barrett's situation at the dentist, would you have pulled out your little buddy from your hip pocket and let him know that you weren't playing, or would you just verbally have told him that
I'm gonna tell you what would have happened. That it would have magically just fell out of his pocket and onto the ground just to let him know.
Oh shoot!
It'd
Just
been
to let him know.
a little subtleness, and it fell out of his pocket and hit the ground like, oh, my fault, bro.
Snap.
My fault, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put this back in my pocket.
Yeah. Let me give you some Novocaine. We'll get this thing going right now. Yeah, we're good to go.
Oh, and you know what, Rob? As he got halfway through it, he turned around and said, "Oh, I got to go a little deeper." He turned around, Dr. Menon, can you give him a little more Novocaine?
Yeah, my man got on board real quick.
Right.
Yeah. I got it.
He said,
Good.
"Can I get a little more? Can you give him a little more?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me a little more."
Yeah, unless you want another forearm shiver, you better get some more in.
Let him know that
Novacare.
he might have been peeing blood if he did it again.
Exactly.
Kidney
I love
shot.
it. I love it. All right, so that's we're the biggest news is that Barrett's okay, but Lane Johnson, that's huge news for the post game show.
Huge.
Got some NBA stuff here, guys, of intrigue. Kevin Durant is staying put. He will be staying in Brooklyn. He and the Brooklyn Nets, their ownership, their front office, they met with him yesterday in LA. I guess they smoothed everything over. I guess they also realized there probably isn't a really good trade market for him. Everybody kissed and made up and all that good stuff. And he is going to be a net, at least for the beginning of the season. We'll see how that goes, but he's going to be a net, which means he's not going to be a Sixer, which means Tyrese Maxey is still here. So,
and he won't be a Celtic.
That's right. Even better than that, he won't be a Celtic. That's the biggest thing. Or a Heat.
All right, so here's my biggest concern. Kevin Durant just a few weeks ago wanted everybody fired.
Yep.
Okay. Now, how are you going to mend the fence that easily when everybody's going to be looking over their shoulder? You got Kyrie over here. You don't know what he's thinking on a day-to-day basis. Kevin Durant says, I'm coming back. The coach knew he wanted him gone. The GM knew he wanted him gone. There's going to be a whole lot of people looking cross-eyed at each other every time they step in the building or on the court together. I don't care what they say on the surface about we've mended fences, everything is Camelot now. No, it's not. It's not.
Well, Derek, I've been in those type of situations before. When you're the greatest player on the planet, you can pretty much do what you want to do. I've been in situations where the best player on the team or one of the best players on the team, they would bend over backwards for him. You know, I played with some of the best players, and two of the great players on our team played the same position.
Right.
They liked each other, but you could tell they didn't like each other.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I played with Rick, and I played with Charlie. Ricky Water, Charlie Garner. They were cool, but they were so competitive.
Yes.
And it's like two alphas always, pushing at each other. I first get to NFL, and we're out there practicing 2 days. We're in Westchester, and Ricky had got all of the reps in middle drill, in 9-on-7. He got all the reps during team, and then we had another period to do. So they looked at Charlie, and they put Charlie in on all pass plays. So Charlie's pissed off. So our coach today just happened to be, his name was Dick. I forget Dick's last name. So he turned around and said, "Hey, Charlie, go in for this one." No, Dick, stop begging me. You begging me. You're like, Charlie, go in. No, you tell him to go back in there. He had all the running plays today. Let him finish this out. Let him finish practice. Charlie walked from one field, crossed over a field, and then took his helmet off and sat down on the third field. Sat on top of his helmet, sat there and watched the rest of practice like this.
Now, does anything happen? Is there any discipline? Does anybody talk to him, or they're getting away with murder then?
Bro, I mean, it wasn't even getting away with murder. He just wasn't doing it. You can't make him do it. You don't want to fine him because you don't want to piss him off. And plus, we had, Ray Rose. Ray Rose didn't care what you did. As long as in the game you balled, you performed, he didn't care what you did, bro. You can go out there and slap somebody's mama. But you came and played on Sunday, he wouldn't care about it.
But see, Barrett, let's go back to what you said initially. You said you were in a situation with Ricky and Charlie in the same backfield. They were cool with each other. You're talking about two guys competing for playing time.
Yep.
This is a different scenario. You had an employee who wanted management fired, who said it publicly that he wanted people fired. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to try to tell me that everything's fine and it's Camelot. No, it's not.
That could be uncomfortable, man. That could be very uncomfortable.
No, it's not. Now, everybody's going to smile when they're together, and they're going to say the right thing and try not to step on Kevin's toes and, just keep the peace. No, it's not. It's human nature.
Yeah, I don't buy for a second this is all
right.
No.
But see, I remember, Derek, that, I thought you wanted me fired when I was with NBC.
Hey, stop that mess. Stop it. Stop that mess. Stop. Cut. Cap.
No, you're right, man. I ain't gonna play like that. I ain't gonna play like that. You've been my dog ever since then. You my dog, man. You're right. I'm not even gonna lie like that.
As the young people like to say, stop the cap right now. Stop right now. No, ain't nothing like that. Now, I did jokingly try to get you in trouble a few times. I ain't gonna lie about that.
You stayed doing that, man.
I ain't gonna lie about that.
Bro, you stayed doing that, man.
He can't help himself. He can't.
No. Right, hey. At least Rob would try to be, a barricade. He would try to keep the heat off me.
Rob's a perfect diplomat, dude.
Right. Yes. He's like, hey, Barrett, I know you're upset, man. I know you're mad.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Rob, I ain't trying to hear that, man. She better leave me alone, man.
And then I go into the office and say, look, you better talk to him because it's not right. Look, I would like try and get everything good.
Yeah, here's my two options, Rob. When Barrett would hit that volcanic, I would either egg him on by laughing. D-Gun, it ain't funny. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Or I would say, call us at B. Brooks. You can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that in the newsroom, bro. You can't. You cannot. You have to. You have to control.
I'm working on it, man.
You have to control. So it would be either or.
We're all a work in progress, man.
Yeah, I would gauge the situation. Like when he wanted to beat up a producer on the practice field, I'm rolling laughing. I'm crying laughing because I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
I'm rolling laughing.
You understood, though, right? You understood.
I understood, but I'm saying I would have handled it in a different manner.
How? See, it was total disrespect.
Yeah, but see, you handled it where there were witnesses involved. See, that's the problem. Now, because see, you're this big ex-athlete and this little wimpy producer. See,
he got smart with me though, man. He did get smart with me.
Whose side would management have taken? Well, Barrett, you're the professional here, and you should have taken a different approach. You can't, you're representing the company, and you can't let your temper get the best of you in a work environment. That's not good for the overall structure of the workday.
Let me talk to the stream. Let me ask the stream. Hey, stream, listen to this. This is the scenario.
Don't ask the stream.
Yes, I am going to ask the stream. All right.
Don't ask it.
We go to practice, right?
Don't ask the stream, bro.
Yeah, but they gotta know. I want them to give them.
No, because I bet a lot of them don't work in the kind of environment that we've worked in. Okay, see what I'm saying? This is a different work environment, dude. Okay, don't even try that mess. Okay.
Oh, Dick Jameson, that's his name. You're right, Anthony. Dick Jameson. Yep, running backs coach. Yep. Dick Jameson.
Look, man.
Well, look here. Bottom line is, when it comes to Durant, if they're not playing well, you watch. By Christmas time, he's going to want out again.
Oh,
Mark
no question about
my
that.
words. Yep. This is all window dressing. This is all not. Here's the other thing. He and Kyrie's still there too.
Is Kyrie vaccinated?
No.
Okay, so you still got the problem. He can't play. Did New York lift the ban?
He can now. Yeah, he can.
Okay,
they lift
all right. So they cool. There we go.
The problem
can't go to Toronto.
Well, right. They can't do that right now.
Right.
I don't think, at least they can get. They're going to get a full-on taste of Ben Simmons now too. And they're going to find out what that's all about.
I don't know if he still plays, bro. Do you think he puts on the uniform and plays?
I think he does, and I think he exposes himself further. I do.
Who?
I don't.
Kyrie?
No, Ben.
Oh, Ben. I don't see him playing, man. I think Ben going to ride off into the sunset like Clint Eastwood in a Western movie.
You think, man, it's a lot of money he's leaving on the
there's
table,
too much money at stake. He'll play. He'll still be the same guy. He's not going to be improved. He'll be the same guy.
To be honest with you, what did I say a few weeks ago when I checked? He made $67 million. So after taxes, agent fees, and all that good stuff, about 35 million he's made in cash. He's a guy who's never had anybody or an entity of bodies go against him. He seems to me like he's had a charmed life his entire basketball career. He's never had criticism rain down on him like it has been as a professional basketball player. Some people cannot handle that type of pressure. Now, his biggest problem was what? His back problem, right?
Right.
Okay, what did we see this summer? Why are you out there in the middle of an ocean on a boat in a rocky waves? Now, I understand you wanted to enjoy your life. There are multitudes of ways you could enjoy your life without subjecting your back to that kind of constant pounding out there in ocean waves. Why would you do that? That tells me that he's not even thinking about his profession. He's thinking about enjoying life. That's why I think if he does come back, he will take his good, sweet time. He will soak this for as much as he can. The Sixers settled with him and gave him additional money. Okay, so if he made gross $67 million, what do you think the Sixers settled with him for? What did they owe him? Like 20-something million?
Yeah, but Gunnar, you're thinking in terms of him being practical with his spending. Okay.
No, I'm thinking in terms of him being a young man who is living a dream of being able, one of the chosen few, to play in the most prominent basketball league on the planet against the best athletes in the world. And he's taking this lightly in my regard.
I agree. Because I don't think he's truly a competitor. I think he likes the dollars.
There you go.
I think he likes the lifestyle, which means he knows he has to some degree keep playing to continue to further that lifestyle of the rich and famous.
I don't think it does. Because Rob, if he's smart, and I don't know his background financially, I don't know his makeup. If you have $35 million, let's say he spent somebody down to, let's say $28 million, okay? You could live off the interest extremely comfortable for the rest of your life and never touch the principal if you're smart. I got to think somewhere in the back of his mind, he's got to be thinking, you know what? I got all the money I need. I can still do what I want to do.
But D-Gun, he just bought a $17 million mansion.
Okay. It's an investment. If it fails, to get that money back.
Yep.
Okay. He had a $4 million penthouse in downtown Philly.
Yeah, in Rittenhouse. Yep.
In Rittenhouse. He just bought 2 cars that are upwards. One was like,
and one's a Bentley.
280. No, 3 of them. There's 3 of them then. One was upwards of 350. One was about 300, and one was about 250.
Okay.
They 2 Ferraris and a Bentley.
Okay.
He has a Lamborghini. I forgot about the Lamborghini, which is upwards of about 280, 300.
That's fine.
And you probably pay cash for those. You know, you don't. When you go to places to go buy those type of cars, you don't usually put a note on. You usually don't have a note on it. You usually pay cash when you're going to get, stuff like that.
Okay, and if push comes to shove and he needed money, you can easily sell that $17 million mansion. Now, the cars he's going to take a hit for, because cars and jewelry, as soon as you take them out, they depreciate.
Right.
But they paid $300,000 for a car. He'll still get $150 for it. Okay, at the worst. You'll get $1. If it's in mint condition, he'll get $150 for it. Okay, so the dude's he's going to find a way to make some money. I don't think being a professional athlete is in the top 5 of his priority list right now. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree. So you don't think he ever plays again?
I think. Okay, let me put it like this. I think he'll join the team for training camp. He'll go through the regimen of training camp, and somehow, some way, he's going to use this back issue as an excuse to delay the start of his season.
I'll buy that.
And delay. This young
man, that the first game of the year? Isn't that? Aren't they playing the first game against the Knicks?
No,
Celtics.
No, the Sixers and the Celtics.
Oh, Celtics. I knew. Yeah, okay.
All right. Are the early game, and then there's a West Coast game after that. Yep.
The first time he's subjected to consistent criticism if he doesn't produce. Yeah, okay, you're in one of the most critical. You think Philadelphia is critical? New York is just as critical. Yeah, they're athletes. New York is a highly critical market.
They're second class to the Knicks, though.
No. I'm just saying in terms of media and fan base criticizing athletes, they're just as critical as Philadelphia. Yeah, let the criticism be consistent. Let him get his butt out there in the court and not produce. And when I say produce, I'm talking at least 20 points a game and at least 6, 7, 8 rebounds a game. Let him not produce at that level and see what happens to him.
Oh, here's the other thing. And even if you take the fans out of it, let's say teams are just doubling Kyrie and Durant, and they make the right basketball play and kick it to him, and he won't shoot it. It's not going to be the fans. It's going to be those 2 guys who are not going to deal with that. Durant will absolutely go off. He'll go off.
He'll lose it.
Yeah.
Wait until the boos start raining down in Brooklyn. Wait till the boos start raining down.
Then he's going to want out of there too. And where are you going
next?
That's my point. Where you going? Siberia, Sacramento? Where are you going?
Iceland? Where you going? European League?
Well, let me I can't think of it from that aspect. I got to think of it from a player's aspect of it. And you've been playing this sport your entire life since you were a young kid, and you have the ability to just keep on playing it. I just think that anytime, like I'd still be playing in the NFL if I could still play.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think that's going to take over in him, the want and the drive to go out there and compete at the highest level. And I think that's where things are going to change for him. He's going to start going out there and playing. It's like it'll be like riding a bike to him. He can play, man. Mentally, that's the only thing that's really derailing him from playing anyways. But I think he's still good enough that he can play. He's a great player. He is a great player. Even with not shooting, he's still a great player.
Yeah, but tell him that. Convince him of that. Because he could have played for Brooklyn last season.
Yeah, that's the thing. What I wonder is, Barrett, he might be able to just go back into autopilot because he's so big and athletic and talented.
Yeah.
But are you going to get better? Are you going to you're going to run into the same moments he ran into in that playoff series with the Sixers? You just are, because Brooklyn's going to, if these three are playing together, they're going to be, I'm not telling you they're the best team in the East, but they're going to be a good team. They're going to be in the playoffs.
If he's playing, yes.
Yes. So my point is, there are going to be moments, whether it's the regular season or possibly the postseason, where he's going to have to perform a duty that an NBA player has to perform. That's take a freaking shot from the outside, not just drive it to the basket, not drive and kick. You're going to have to shoot it. And then what? Because we all know he's scared.
Well, I don't know if he really has to, because if you look at the way that team is constructed, I mean, you got three shooters, man. Three shooters on that team that he can kick it to. I mean, we forget that, they got, Seth
Curry's
there.
Still there. Yeah.
So that's three shooters, man, that, they can kick it out to, and he doesn't have to be that shooter. It just bodes well for him to be in that system, because he won't have to do that. He could be the defender, and the point guard. They got rid of Harding, so he'll be the point guard now.
He's got to shoot. He's got to shoot the ball.
I think he's going to be exposed.
See, Chris D just said exactly what I was about to say. B. Brooks, put Chris D's comment up there, Rob. B. Brooks, your mindset is a lot different than Ben's. See, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
How many young men do you know at the age of 25 that already made $67 million?
You're right about that.
And we're not even talking about an endorsement deal. Now, he got an endorsement deal being a high draft pick. We're not even talking about that money. We don't know how much he made in endorsements.
You know what? Now that I look at the stream, I haven't been looking at the stream. I'm looking at the stream, man. A lot they're making great choices, because I'm looking at it from the aspect of a competitor, a guy that goes out there and competes, being an athlete, outplaying the guy next to you. And they're absolutely right. His mindset is totally different. That might be the cog that gets that machine rolling. Was when he starts losing that money. He gets about $5 million in that bank account. Like, oh, I got to do something about this.
Yep. Look, his primary objective is to get paid and to be famous. I don't think it's to win championships. But look, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up in Brooklyn. Going to be interesting, that's for sure.
You want to get paid. You want to get paid. You got to produce.
You got to produce.
Yep.
But he does have a guaranteed deal.
Okay, I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally also. You've got to be able to produce. You've got to be able to digest. People talk about the physical attributes of a professional athlete. There's a mental digestion also that you have to endure every day. Subjected to criticism, not being able to go out in public and just be a regular person.
Yeah.
Okay. Avoiding reading the press clippings about you, whether pro or con. Avoid listening to the radio. Avoid watching the news at night. Avoid watching and listening to sports talk shows on the radio or TV or YouTube. There's a mental digestion that's just as important for a professional athlete as the physical attributes of playing a game.
It's worse than it was when I was playing too. You're right, D-Gun, because you
didn't have social media. There you go.
Different.
And look at how many athletes daily get on social media and want to combat people over stuff that, you know what? Turn your phone off. Turn your laptop off. Why would you Why would you engage them? Because now they have you right where they want you. And not only that, all of a sudden 50 people who shouldn't be jumping in just to see if they can egg you on. And you bite. How many athletes bite?
All the
and
time.
then all of a sudden, you see comments like a Jalen Reagor. He posts something in a rebuttal somebody said and then deletes it because he knew he shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you look at just like just Jalen Reagor, for instance, you look at him, and I look at the other receivers. He has everything that you want: speed, size. He has abilities that other guys don't have. And I don't see the same heart and drive that I see in the other guys. I mean, when I'm watching AJ Brown practice, and I know that's the height of what you need to be as an athlete as far as a receiver. And I see the intensity level that he brings to the table, how he runs routes, how he finishes plays, how he goes and gets it. But then I look at Jalen Reagor, and it looks like he's practicing harder than he did last year, but it's still a drastic difference from what I see in AJ Brown's practice.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm looking at it, it's looking like, all right, he's just a slow motion. His intensity isn't there. But all in all, he is practicing at the level that's higher than he practiced last year. So it looks like he's dogging it when I compare over here, but you can't compare. You can't compare the two athletes because it's two different mindsets. So, I mean, I guess that's what it is, man.
Yeah. I will also say this. If push comes to shove, if he really wants to just bow out and hide in the shadows, he could go back to Australia or go to Europe and play professional basketball over there and still make low seven figures. It might not be the money he'll ever make in the NBA, but he can make low seven figures. Players have talked all the time. You go over to Europe. Now, it used to be you go to Europe and play. If you were prominent enough, and I'm talking about a middle-of-the-road NBA player is a prominent basketball player over in Europe because you played American basketball. They get seven-figure income. They get free lodging at a great hotel or house. They also get free cars in a lot of cases to drive around while they're playing during the season. Okay, see, so he can make money. He's got multitudes of ways he can make money. He's 25 years old.
Yeah, I just think his ego is such. He wants to be here with playing with the best in the world. He likes the notion of it. He likes the payment of it. But when it comes down to it, at the biggest of moments, I don't know if he has what it takes. I don't know if he has the stones. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But look, we'll see.
Tough,
I don't think Rob, I don't think he really cares about playing at this stage of his life with the best of the best. I really don't. And
look, he's set up to succeed because he's there with Durant. He's there if Kyrie Irving's there. He's there with Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry. There's shooters there that he could just feed, and he doesn't even have to do anything else but play defense. Really, for the most part,
you can't hide when you're 6'10" and you're a high first round draft pick. You can't hide behind your teammates. You can't. You have any sport that you're drafted in the top 15, you have to show your mettle right away.
I get it.
Even to the limited role.
I rarely ever do this, but let me just pull this up. I get a kick out of this kind of sentiment. And Dominique throws a lot of this kind of nonsense out there. So Philly was toxic. So your coach and your best player come at you publicly. That's what you consider coming at you? Really? Doc Rivers was asked if he's the point guard of the future, said he wasn't sure. Embiid said, when was the turning point of the game? Probably when we turned down that dunk. That's coming at you now. That's the thought process of this day and age, that's being come at. I don't know how y'all built, but somebody had come after me like that. I'm out. That's weak. If that's what you're bailing on. Okay. It's weak. It's absolutely weak. If that's your thought process. Anyway, you got to grow thicker skin. You just do. I mean, and that wasn't even harsh to go, take your ball and run home after something like that. You don't have what it takes. And it's not a Philly thing. It's why did he play last year? Why did he play in Brooklyn?
Exactly.
Ask yourself that. Why?
Not only that, he gave us the ammunition. That man stood under the basket in a playoff game at a crucial point of a game, wide open. Could have dunked.
Yeah, a guy a foot smaller outside and kicked it out. A guy foot smaller
kicked it back out. That's where it all started.
But I love the thought process of that. Like it's everybody but Ben, and that's why he's been enabled with thoughts like Dominique has his whole life. That's how you get a guy that becomes a monster like Ben, because people like that enable him. They don't call him on the carpet and say, look in the mirror and say, guess what, dude? You have to shoot that shot. You have to develop a jump shot. You got to become tougher.
Exactly. You're right, man. Rob, you hit it on the head, man. You hit it on the head, bro.
We're not calling Ben out because he's a bad guy. We'd call Ben out because we expected him to rise to the occasion in the biggest moment of the team's season, the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, he had games he didn't even shoot in the fourth quarter.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Yeah. Well, you know,
and you're maxed out. You're a max player.
Yes, that's you're getting paid as such. So I mean, that's like with me. You know, I admit, man, I was in a situation like I'm playing against Green Bay and I'm going against Mr. White. I lost the game for us. I lost the game. I had to own it up. I lost it because I couldn't stop the best player to ever put on shoulder pads from getting to the quarterback, and I lost it. I gave up a sack and a half, and they came back and won the game because I couldn't stop it.
You tried.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference in my mindset. I was fighting my ass off. I was giving everything I had the entire game.
Right.
And it still wasn't enough of going against Mr. White.
Yeah.
Why can't you have that mindset that, all right, I couldn't do it, bro. I tried my best. I gave it all. I held on to him.
Yeah.
And took a ride, but I lost the game for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you know, being accountable for it. You know, I had to go in front of the people and say, hey, look, I lost the game for us. My apologies. I mean, I'll work harder. I'll try to get better.
Sure.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and look, like I'll give you an example. Tasty Flower says, we forget he was never a shooter, needed a team built to his skill set. First of all, there's no comparison to Giannis because Giannis shoots. Right. Okay? If you watch Giannis play, Giannis will shoot a three. He'll shoot from the outside.
And he shouldn't be shooting threes.
He's not afraid to shoot at all. Okay? And they tried to build a team around him, and he still didn't shoot. Ben did. It's just everybody wants to make excuses for this guy. It's wild to me, man.
Plus, let us remember he's a 6'10" point guard. You mean to tell me he can't post up and shoot 5 or 10 times a game? Really?
Yeah.
5 or 10 times a game.
Yes. And the difference is Giannis worked on that part of his game.
That's the big thing right there. That's the most damning thing right there.
Ben keeps doing it. Ben knows he can drive it to the basket and dunk over smaller guys. He knows he's athletic. Like that we all know that. Nobody denies that. But you got to get better. How are you getting better? That's the problem. All right.
That's deals. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, bro.
Yes. All right. So let's step aside.
House of Dragons was on point.
I hear you. Let's jump into some football when we get back. Barrett, we haven't had your take on the preseason game, man. We got to go through the offense, the defense. We got cut down day today. They get it down to 80 today, and then the big one is next week. You go from 80 to 53, man. That's the biggie. So we will dive into all of that. Don't go anywhere. D Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, knowing who to trust with your finances. Yes, it can be a scary proposition. And I was right there in the front of that line. I didn't know who to trust. I had the wrong people. I was trying to do it myself. I found the right person, and that's Jim Murray at Principal Financial Group, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. If you have a small business and you're trying to set up your employee benefits, that's another resource that Jim can help you with. I know personally, I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover to Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You can give him a call, 610-996-4751, and he can help you, 610-996-4751, or you could email him at Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free. What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resorts. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
What's up, friends? Welcome back in Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Appreciate everybody hanging with us, everybody in the chat section, everybody streaming, everybody listening. Smash that like button. I want to remind everybody, we talked about this right off the top, but just to let everybody know, because this is big time news, man. So on our JAKIB Sports Eagles post-game show, look who is joining that crew. Look who's joining D-Gun, Mike Missinelli, Seth Joyner, and Devin Kane. How about the one and only, the man who didn't give up a sack last year, Lane Johnson? Paved the lane, will be joining the show after each and every game, giving his insights. And you guys pointed it out, man, right off the top. This guy, there is no filter. It is unvarnished. It's coming at you. And it's going to be right after the game, too, which is the beauty. Like, there's not going to be a lot of time. Oh, what should I on Monday? Well, should I phrase this? No, boom. He's going to give you the straight dope, as they say. So very exciting news, guys.
Hey, when I talked to Lane about joining us a few months ago, he said, D-Gun, what do you think? I said, dude, it's a platform for you to say what you feel and not have to worry about being politically correct. I said, you know, Seth, you know me. Dude, let's have some fun with it. He goes, I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, now you work it out with Joe Kraus, who's the CEO of JAKIB Sports Media YouTube Network. And, we go from there. So we've been sitting on this for a while. But, I'm so happy to have Lane on, because the thing is, on the channel that we're on, there is no bleep buttons. There is no 7-second delay.
Yes.
Lane can say what he wants to say, how he wants to say it. That's entirely up to him.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool. And so Lane's quote is, joining this lineup of talent on the JAKIB post-game show is an incredible opportunity for me to connect with the best fans in the NFL in real time after the game. So that's coming from the one and only Lane Johnson. So good stuff there.
Unfiltered. He's going to be unapologetic about what he says.
Yeah.
You might not want to hear what he says, but he's going to give it to you.
He's going to give it to you, man.
Yeah, that's a great thing about Lane. He's going to give you what's in his heart, man. And that's what you want half the time. You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? The good with the bad.
Well said. Well said.
And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for us, because you don't want somebody who's going to give you the corporate answer when things go bad.
Company line.
The company line.
Yeah, got to do a better job. You're not going to get that.
You're going to get exactly what he feels at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
And, it might be bad for him because you don't want to alienate. And I'm not saying he would alienate teammates.
Sure.
But he, in a general term, Lane is very good in a general broad picture of saying exactly what the fan base is saying.
Oh, no. And look, and holds himself just as accountable as anybody
Absolutely.
else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's going to be fun. Well, Barry, since you had your fun experience yesterday at the dentist office, you didn't get a chance to talk about the preseason game, man. And Gunnar and I went through both sides of the ball. But I want you to be able to do that too, give you the opportunity, because guess what, man? They're practicing starting tomorrow in Miami. You got Wednesday, Thursday, and then game on Saturday. So they're kind of right back at this thing. But let's go through it, Barrett. So the first 2 drives, let's go offense first. First 2 drives, heavy Boston Scott, heavy Gainwell, both netting in a touchdown, resulted in a touchdown. Let's start with those 2 drives first and what your impressions were.
You know what? They're trying to convince me that this running back by committee is going to work somehow. I still think that you need not necessarily a bell cow back, but a consistent back. You know, I still think that they need a bigger back. But, both backs show that they're very capable of running in situations where they're, going downhill. And as long as that offensive line plays up to expectations, they'll be good. I mean, what if you have a line that's just as good as that offensive line, a D line that can go out there and create penetration? Sometimes, you need that bowling ball to knock those pins down. And, they look good in this preseason game. 2s going against 2s, they look good. But both guys have the potential to be in the starter for us throughout the season. And, as I watched the game, I love the first 2 drives. They did everything you want to do. They ran a stretch play, to perfection. Stretch being, they're trying to get the ball to the outside. They block 2 guys down, pull the front side guard and the center around. And they have found a diamond in the rough with Cam Jurgens. Cam is by far the best center playing from out of that draft right now. And I was saying he was 1B to I think his name's Humphrey. Not Humphrey. Forget that the first round centered.
Well,
put like this. He should have been in the first round. He should have been a first round pick.
Yeah, the kid out of Iowa.
Yeah. And he has everything, man. He can pull, he can secure. He's a little bigger than Kelsey, so he can secure that line of scrimmage. He can hit a guy, head up on him, and drive him back. He doesn't necessarily need a double team to come off the rock and move a guy. So in that instance, he might be a little better than Kelsey, but he has all the intangibles that Kelsey has, and being able to move out in space, get up on the second level.
Tyler Lindenbaum. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you,
yes.
Jalen. Tyler, thank you. I didn't feel like looking it
job,
up.
Jalen. Yep.
John too. Yeah, John got it. Yep.
Thanks, John.
And also happy birthday, next shift, Randy. Happy birthday.
Oh, it's his birthday?
Yeah, today's.
Yep. All right. Next shift, Randy. Good work out of you.
Yeah. So, but him and that offensive line, the 2s look good, but then after that, man, it just went all to hell. Those.
Well, we'll get into the defense. So let me just stay on the offense for a minute. I thought Minshew looked solid. I'm not telling you he was great. I thought he looked solid.
He's a gamer. He's not really a practice guy. He's a gamer.
Yeah, 100%. And I thought Deion Kane really showed out.
He's gonna make it tough. I mean, now
talking about Barry, did you see me tweet when I said during the game, Deion Kane is about to cost somebody a job?
I'll be looking at that tweet and I don't be doing no tweeting. I don't do it. I just watch the game, man. I'm looking at him and he's making it tough. He's making it tough, man. I don't think the numbers necessarily are bowling in his favor.
Why not? If they keep 6, why not?
I still don't think he fits in, because I know me and you go at it. We've gone at this, the entire offseason about Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor is going to be on this squad, man. Even though Deion Kane is better than he is right now.
Wait, say it again.
Kane is better than him.
Yes.
He's miles ahead of him.
Here we go. I'm with you. I still think Reagor's here unless he gets traded.
Miles ahead of him. He's a better player. In fact, he came out in 18?
So yeah, he was with the Colts. He got hurt and bounced
2 years
around
with the Colts.
Yep.
He was here for a minute, on the practice squad.
Last year. Yep.
He was in Baltimore. He's had some time in the league. He's 26 years old.
Right.
And the practice squad not like it used to be. Not only do they have, I think, 15 players they can put on practice squad, but they also can put guys on that don't qualify. You couldn't be a vested player and be on the practice squad. Now it doesn't matter. You could be vested and be on the practice squad. So that's going to help a lot of veteran players get paid. And it's like $15,000 a week being on the practice squad. But I don't think that, the number counts is in his favor. If they keep 6, I still think they keep Covey before they keep him, because Covey plays special teams.
Although he hasn't done much, Barrett, in the games.
He absolutely hasn't. He absolutely hasn't.
All right, then let me put it to you like this: Devontae, AJ, Quez, Zach, Pascal. Let's say they keep 5. Who's your 5th one? Who's your 5th?
Rager.
Okay, is he? What if we just said Deion Kane? Look, those 2 catches he made. Those 2 catches he made in that game, and I understand they're playing second and third.
Back to back.
Down the sideline. One over tough coverage. The second one, perfect back shoulder catch, adjusted his body perfectly. And let's move ahead to the second half. When he caught that out pattern, I thought he was out of bounds. Controlled his body, got his feet in. What a catch. Okay.
Both
I don't care who's covering.
Yeah.
And
the bottom line is making plays when your number's called. That young man made plays every time his number called. Can we say that about any of the other pass catchers? No. Hightower, Rager. Nope. Now, Devin Allen had a nice catch. I give him that, Okay, but so that's why I'm saying Kane is about to make it extremely tough. If they decide they're going to keep extra offensive linemen, something has to give somebody somewhere else. And we've already talked about this. Something has to give it another position. So if they keep 5 receivers, if I'm sitting behind closed doors with my decision makers evaluating talent, Deion Kane's name has to be in that conversation.
Derek, I agree. You're looking at this too logically. I agree. He's outplayed him. Like he's more deserving, but we know there's sometimes more to these decisions.
Absolutely. Okay, Rob, then you're not doing your team justice then. Okay. And I agree with you 100%. If that is
Dominique Dabney, look at Dominique Dabney's put it up on the screen, please. Bruh, Rager's gonna be here, man.
Yes. Dominique, I agree. Look, Derek,
I'm
unless he gets traded,
my way into anything. I'm just saying.
No, I don't think you're trying to talk your way into. Here's what I think. No. You've been steadfast the whole time. He's not going to be here. I will 100% give you that. No. I think I think there's a chance he could be traded. Let me be really clear. Like that.
Okay. All right.
Clears it up if that happens. But I think if they're unable to move him, that's how I think he's going to be here.
I'll say the same thing. If they don't trade him, he's going to be on this roster. Can they afford to have 6 receivers? No.
Right. But here's the one thing that you have to give Rager out of the crew that we're talking about. If we're not talking about Covey, I'm saying he at least returns, and he doesn't do it well, but he at least returns punts.
Yep.
John Dickerson, only Rob E can talk people out of a job.
Watch it, John. I know where you work. No, but I just if somebody had distinguished themselves as a punter and kick returner, then I may feel different.
There you go.
But nobody. This is a big area of need for this team that's being overlooked because they're so
special teams is being overlooked.
Yes,
they really are being overlooked, man. They lost the first preseason game.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead, Baron. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, go ahead.
Let me reiterate what I've said. The reason why I feel Rager it could be on the guillotine. It's because, and I've said this before several times between May, and I'll say it again between May and I'll say it again today. If there was ever a time that Howie Roseman could get out from under high draft picks not producing the way we think he should have produced by now, it's this year because of the addition of A.J. Brown, because of what we've seen from Devontae Smith. He's added another receiver in Pascal. We know what Quez Watkins has unlimited potential. I guarantee you, if A.J. Brown now in other years where they were limited in pass catchers, if you got rid of Jalen Rager, and I'm not here advocating getting rid of Jalen Rager, so people get that out your mind. I'm just saying when you look at the numbers and the productivity up to this point, any past years when they didn't have a wealth of talent and versatility at that position, people would be reading the Riot Act on how you bombed out on a first-round pick. Okay?
Yes.
But because of the depth and the versatility and the potential youth on this team right now, I think it would be a whisper. Whether he was cut or traded, it would be a whisper. And you're right, Rob. There's a good possibility he could be traded. You're right. They got rid of J-Jaw. J-Jaw was a high second-round pick, right?
Yeah.
People have been screaming for, since last year. Why is he still on the team? Why he's not on the team? They got rid of him.
See, I think you make a lot of sense, Derek. I've always been of the mindset, and this goes back to before I started covering sports when I was a fan. I'd rather an organization just admit a mistake and move on rather than compound it by keeping a guy around. I would honestly, I would give the Eagles credit if he was one of the cuts. It doesn't feel like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Arizona admitted a year later they made a mistake on Sam Rosen, didn't they? He's gone.
Yep.
Gone.
The very next year went to Miami.
Yeah, Kyler Murray was drafted the next year.
Thank you. Sometimes you got to cut bait for the betterment of the team.
I think they've look. I think they're trying to move him. I'm not saying that you won't be able to move him for a 6th or a 7th. I think you could, but who knows? Maybe there just isn't a market, man.
Well, there isn't a market for a player that can't play.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where it is. I mean, I thought he was having a good enough camp that he could fight his way back and become at least a 5th receiver on the team.
Yeah,
but I just don't see the drive that I see in other.
Do you guys remember the game? I think it was his second catch. He had 2 catches, and I think it was the second one. There was one guy there. If he makes a cut, the guy bites, and Reagor could have been gone. And you're just waiting for that big play out of him, and you just don't see it.
He had us fooled that first game. It became his first game. The first pass he catches like a 50-yard bomb from Carson.
Right.
And they ended up losing the game. He's been horrible ever since then.
Yeah, and he had the 1 punt return in Green Bay, right? I mean, other than that, it just feels like there haven't been any big plays at all.
If he's still on this roster when they cut down to 53, I hope and pray that he elevates his game to a whole nother level and everybody gets off his neck, and he can go out there and have a great career, even if he's the 4th or 5th receiver. But as of right now, based on training camp, based on preseason games, the fact that you don't even see him back there on punt returns, what does that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? Why would you keep him if he's not going to be a productive entity?
Yeah.
He's not even your top. He's not in your conversation right now as your top 4 options. Think about it.
Bro, you're not trying to talk us into it.
Yeah, Derek, we're on your same page. As far as what it is, as far as what he's been, I couldn't agree with you more. It's impossible for me to agree with your sentiments more. I'm just telling you what I think the Eagles are gonna do. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's impossible for us to think that Jalen Reagor belongs on this team because of what he has done.
Right.
That's what we're trying to say. For what he has done, he does not belong on this team.
Absolutely.
Now, what he is puts him on this team.
Yeah.
Well, what he is a first-round draft choice.
Yeah.
That they see potential in, and how he doesn't want to let that go because if you say there's a chance, there's a chance.
I see potential in Deion Kane. Whose potential would you rather have right now?
Same. I look. Deion Kane's got good size and he can run. I wish he could return punts and kicks, man. But that might be the saving grace for Reagor. We'll see. Look, we'll see. And that was, to me, there was a lot of interesting things in that game. Let's go to the other side, Barrett. This is where I was more disappointed. I thought the defense looked, frankly, bad. And
They did.
I thought Jordan Davis, I thought Nakobe Dean would against their 2s would play a lot better than they played, and they were really just quiet more than anything else.
Yep. And it turns out that offensive line for Cleveland turned out to be a little bit better than what they thought.
Derek made the comp to the Eagles backups, like how good, how much depth they have on the offensive line. Yeah,
Cleveland has one of the best offensive lines in the game.
Yep.
It wasn't like they averaged 145 yards rushing the game last year. That's no fluke.
Nope.
Cleveland is very good at finding offensive line. Because we consider them the mistake by the lake. We don't look at Cleveland because they've never won anything. We don't look at Cleveland in that light. Cleveland is very good and very deep along that offensive line.
Yes, they are. And they're very good and deep at the running back position.
Yes.
And they ran all over that defense.
Yes.
And I actually saw Gannon trying to stop the bleeding and putting in that 50 front where they had the center, a nose guard right over the center and the 2 tackles over the 3 techniques. Over the guards at 3 technique, trying to stop the bleeding, which opened them up to the pass. so they couldn't get pressure on with that 50 front. So there's a lot of holes in that defense. After that first team, the second team and third team have sucked.
Yeah, maybe they don't have the depth that we thought on the deep. Like we
No,
always
they
talk
don't.
about, like the
On
offensive
offense, they
line,
do, yeah.
deep
Yep.
defensive line, maybe not. You know, maybe not in general on that side of the ball. Maybe you're a little thin there.
No, it's not maybe. They are a lot thin.
Yeah.
And I don't see them at this point, you know, getting rid of some guys that they should get rid of and they don't belong on this team. Like I was always hesitant in watching that defensive line from last year. You know what I mean? And the backups that they had, the backups that I thought were like I don't understand the kid from LSU, not LSU, but USC being a player. What's his name? Marvin. Hold on a second, I'll get it right now. Marlon Tui Tuipulotu.
Yep.
Tuipulotu.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as though he was a good player, and it showed in this last game. He did nothing. Marvin Wilson, he tried to peak at times, but he didn't do enough.
Yeah, I want more out of him too.
Me too. Matt Leo, I thought he was going to be a player. They just hadn't gave him a shot.
Yeah.
He was getting his ass kicked.
Yep.
Teron Jackson is still that dude.
Yeah.
He could play, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Job was good.
Job was good.
Yes. Job's going to make this team.
Yes, he is. He's going to make this team. Zach McPherson was good also.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got both of those guys. Both of those corners will be on this squad, which is why I think that, you know, they're only going to carry 5 receivers because of that. I saw
5 receivers.
Amandi played okay.
Yeah.
Tart played okay also.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Jaworski Tart. Yep.
So both of them showed up. They love Andre Sashir. So how do you have this number count that you can have 6 receivers when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DBs that you have to keep on the squad?
Something's got to give. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's a trade coming, and Howie's almost always pulls the trigger before we get to the first regular season game. I think something's going to happen.
And he's not good. But then I also look at the depth that the offensive line get. Just, you know, talking about depth as far as where guys are going to be at.
Yeah.
I thought my guy Cody Wusaka, he played terrible at tackles. Like after Jack Driscoll and Dillard left the game, the edges were horrible. We couldn't stop anybody from coming off the edges.
Yeah.
Cleveland's defensive ends kicked the second team's butt, dog. Jared Williams got crushed. He got bent over backwards. Look at it, LaRaven Clark. I thought he was a hopeful. Got crushed.
Yeah.
Got ran through. That second,
he might be in trouble. He might be in trouble.
Yeah. I can't see it.
Let's go back to what we were talking about Tart for just a moment. I said this yesterday, Barron. I want your perspective on this. Now, I agree with what you and Rob said, and I said it yesterday that I thought Tart played a decent game. But there's still, I still have the question: why did a rugged defense like the 49ers let him go? Number one, they let him go, and just yesterday, the 49ers go out and sign a veteran safety, Tashawn Gibson. Now, you already had one in-house who didn't cost you a lot of money, who knew your system inside and out, who played for you for a couple of years under Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff. You let him go, and then you had to go out and get another proven veteran to put on the back end of that defense. So my question is, why? Now, if he was a big money guy and it was a number crunching thing, I get that. It wasn't a number crunching thing with him. Okay?
You're right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think, you know,
what is it about it that we're missing?
It's coverage. He's a safety that can't cover.
That little coverage thing.
Yeah, you know, you might have to be out on the slot and cover a receiver, and you don't want that to happen. Now, he's great at coming down. Like, if you change his jersey number to like a 50 number and you put him in a box, he could play linebacker. He'd be a great will linebacker. But do you have to go out there and cover? That's when you get exposed. You got to be able to cover. Safeties in this game have to be multidimensional now. You can't just go in and think that you can come downhill and you can be that box safety. You can't. You got to do more than just be a box safety. You got to be able to play in the slot, cover guys. That's why I see a lot of cornerbacks that make the progression from corner to safety. When you come into the league as just a safety, you either progress from being a deep safety, then you get a little older, you go down to box safety. You get a little older, you end up at linebacker, you're out of the league. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's only a few Buda Bakers in this league that can go out and play everywhere on the field as far as being a safety.
Right.
These, you know, Tart, I think, is just a box safety.
Yeah.
And his coverage really hampers his ability to be a game changer. And, you know, that's why San Fran let him go. He just can't cover to what you need to do. You need to cover. It's going to be hard for him to cover tight ends and running backs out of the backfield, let alone go on out there and covering a receiver in the slot.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we're going to keep the Eagles talk going, and we're going to dive into a couple things. 5 things we are comfortable with, 5 things we're concerned about. Interest in Kareem Hunt in terms of a trade. Would you, Barrett? We'll dive into that with you. Where's the bar
Philadelphia Minute?
All right. There's a teaser for you. We'll get into that a little bit more when we get back. Where's the bar set for you as far as playoffs? Is it 1 game? Is it 2 game, et cetera? We'll get into that a little later. The Eagles may be getting a couple of breaks when it comes to injuries already. So we'll talk about that. Phillies win last night. They bounce back. We'll dive into that as well. Don't go anywhere. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk Pro Action Restoration, because Pro Action Restoration is there in your time of need. If you have flooding, if you have water issues, if you have smoke, if you have fire, if you have mold, they are the people that you call. I have called them. They have come out and taken care of my problem. They were clean. They were fast. They were reasonable. The crew was beyond professional. They are unbelievable, and they're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to help you out. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. They serve the tri-state area and have been for more than 2 decades. They will work in conjunction with your insurance company. Again, Pro Action, if it's water, if it's fire, if it's smoke, if it's mold remediation. If you're not really sure, give them a call. They will let you know. You can consult with them. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or you can visit them online at proactionrestoration.com, proactionrestoration.com.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
What's up, everybody? Welcome on back. We are Sports Take. We are with you each and every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 3 Eastern, 3 hours of power we like to provide for you. And again, you can check out all of our interviews, all of our football segments. You just go to JAKIBSports.com. You go to JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. You can go back, check out all the podcasts, tell a friend. Smash that like button, everybody. All right, so let's start with the 5 things we are concerned about, 5 things we feel really comfortable with. Let's start on the positive. Let's go the 5 things that we are comfortable with. D-Gun, why don't you hit a couple here for us?
How many do you want me to mention, first of all?
Go as many as you want. It's up to your call. We can kind of ping pong back and forth.
I'll just give my 5, and then we can go back and dissect, our thoughts and stuff. So I feel really good about the offensive line depth, versatility, defensive line depth, versatility, the starting cornerbacks, the linebackers, and the head coach. Those are my 5 I feel good about.
That's good 5. How about you, Back?
Just like him, O-line being number 1. I like Nick Sirianni's new coaching style, being more of a guy that's going to hover around everything as opposed to just being focused just on the receivers / offensive play call. I also like the way the defense is turning out with the starters. I like the starters. I love their their ability to go out there and run multiple fronts. I like how they're going to be able to come in and have depth that guys coming in and playing at a high level. It doesn't drop off, after the starters. I also like the way our linebacking situation is. I love the depth we have at linebacker. I love we have guys that are playmakers there. And I also like their ability to rush the passer. So, it's virtually the same thing, Derek. I just said it in a different way.
Yeah.
But
that's okay.
So I put pass rush, the head coach, linebackers being aggressive, and O-line.
I like it. All right, I'm going to start with I love the return game. I love the depth at safety. No, I'm just kidding. I had you guys for a second. So Derek was like, "Wait, what?"
Right. I said,
"Yeah, I know." So I love the look on both your faces. So anyway, I had we can't joke. We're gonna do it. Dan makes an interesting. Cilio makes an interesting point. And that's where I was going to start. I love the fact that they have the best offensive line coach in the game. And it feels like even if injuries happen, you could plug other guys in and you're going to be okay. Yes, they did a good job drafting guys, but they also have someone there to develop them and teach them a system, which I feel great about. And it's inevitable in that league, unfortunately, that somebody's going to go down. So I feel great about the offensive line and the offensive line coach. I feel really good. It feels nice to be able to say that they have quality linebackers for the first time in a long time. Like that is such a strange thing to be said before an Eagles season. So that's huge to me.
That you're able to,
right? Yeah, and Barrett, here's the great thing too. You don't have to depend on Nakobe Dean to be the guy right away. He can learn a little bit. He can kind of take his time, get acclimated to things where you're not just throwing him out there. So I would certainly go offensive line coach, offensive line. Let me throw another one there. Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott figured it out last year, man, and he was money. He was the guy that took over in 2017 and was spectacular again last year. So I feel real good about. You got a 52-yarder. All right, I feel good about Jake Elliott drilling a 52-yarder. So I would say Jake Elliott would be the other one. I would say also, and this is kind of in relation to the linebackers. It's really, for me, exciting that you have 2 studs, because how many times have we said in this league at receiver, the teams don't just have one, they have 2. Go look at the playoff teams, and almost every one of them have a quality complementary guy. And I don't think A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith are compliments. I think they're both studs in their own right. But the Eagles now are catching up to speed with the rest of the league. You're not depending on, not to keep beating that dead horse, but Jalen Reagor or somebody else who's not quite there. So I think that's a big thing for me. And I would say, lastly, I truly believe that this team is going to be one that gets to the quarterback. And last year they were second to last in sacks. And I think that could be flipped on its ear. Like, I think they can be a top 5 team in terms of sacks this year.
Yep.
So that's what I feel great about. And they're really huge upgrades in this offseason that this team made talent-wise. So I would go with that. Barrett, give me a couple concerns. I don't know if you don't have to go necessarily 5, but you want to give me some concerns. Go ahead.
My biggest concern is actually special teams and our return game. Our return game has not been one that, I'm used to having here in Philadelphia. Coach Phipp was a guru. Harbaugh was a guru at that.
Yeah.
We used to use that as a decided weapon that helped our defense and offense, flipping the field, getting us going in the right direction. We don't have that right now.
Right.
We don't have a good starter. Also, our depth at the secondary. Yes, Josh Jobe has stepped up a little bit. Zach McPherson has stepped up. But do you trust anybody coming in? Is Josiah a guy that you can trust going in there and playing nickel corner if Vontae Maddox isn't playing well?
Right.
Do you trust him enough to go in there? Those are the 3 guys that we're going to have in there. Josh Jobe, Zach McPherson, or what's his name?
Josiah Scott.
Josiah Scott. Those are the 3 guys. Safety position, who knows? I need to find another guy opposite of Epps that's going to be able to fill the void. Harris, he's not gonna beat you. But does he have that playmaking ability to be that box safety that, everybody looks to be the enforcer, looks to get those tackles for loss, who can cover in a corner, who can cover like a corner out on the slot? Do we have that? I don't know if we got that right now. Then right now, I'm still kind of lost as far as what we're going to do with the tight end position. Jack Stahl, still the guy. Jack Stahl, Grant Calcaterra hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, he just got back. Yeah. And we don't know about Tyree Jackson. Like, when is he going to be able to get back on the field? We have no idea.
So then you have a numbers game. Noah to go. What's his name?
Yeah, who's played pretty well in fairness.
Well enough to be on this team.
Yeah.
Well enough.
And then you still have Richard Rodgers still here.
Old man reliable.
Yeah.
So
those are really my biggest concerns right there.
Yeah. Look, I think they're all real. I do. I buy it. How about you, Gunnar?
I start with the punting game. Field position is so important in today's game that when you lack field position, you can make an average opposing offense look that much better because they have a short distance to go to get points, the points on the board. I'm not 100% sold that Sippa is the answer to the punting game yet.
Yep.
That remains to be seen.
Yep.
Next would be the punt return game. We've talked about it every day. We don't know what this return game is going to look like right now. We don't know who's going to be back there fielding punts for them. And should they be back there for that matter, fielding punts for them, And Barry, you missed it. I talked about a young man yesterday. I taped 7 games over the weekend, and I had to peek in on the Dallas game. And Dallas has this returner named Cavante Turpin, who returns a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown. And his story is incredible. 26 years old, never got a shot in the NFL, played in every league that you can possibly play in on the planet, European League, fan control league. He was the MVP of the USFL this spring. This kid comes out and is lighting it up in the return game, and Dallas finds it by accident.
Yeah, he has some domestic
abuse
issues.
He did
younger in his life. Yeah. So yeah, man, he's the real deal, man. And people outside of Philly are investing in their special teams. They're allowing returners to be be guys you could count on for making the team. I don't know if we necessarily can do that here in Philly.
Another concern I have is safety. I don't care if it's a starting safety or the depth at safety. I'm still not comfortable with our safety situation. We know Marcus Epps has potential. Anthony Harris is what he is. They brought Tart in here. Hopefully Tart can solve some of the questions that we have about the safety. But then again, we don't know until we see it. So right now, as we sit here today, that's a question mark. My other concern is the depth at running back. Your lead running back right now is dealing with a hamstring issue, as is a lot of players across the league at this stage of training camp dealing with hamstring. But health issues has been a big problem with this young man. You know who I'm talking about. Don't even have to say the name. We know he has a potential to be a game changer every time he touches the ball, whether it's in a run or catching a pass out in the flats or a screen. He has the ability and the acceleration to take it to the house on any given play, but we don't know when and for how long he's going to be available. We don't. And finally, my big concern, one of my concerns is the quarterback. Okay, he's looked good. He's looked good, but we still have to see it.
See, Derek, I'm not with that anymore.
Okay,
really, Barrett. So you've turned the page completely and feel like he's going to be not just serviceable, good.
Yes.
I got to see it. Okay, I got to see it. I've seen it. You've seen it in controlled scrimmages. You've seen it briefly in one series in a preseason game. Okay, I got to see it. I got to see it, and that I think it's a viable concern right now because I haven't seen it in a real game situation. This improvement that I've heard you talk about because you've been out to so many practices and everybody else has talked about. I still need to see it. There's nothing wrong with that.
I understand it. Nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, and I understand the concern. I hear people, Daz Dills, Barrett, he hasn't proven anything yet. I understand all that stuff, but I'm looking at it from the aspect of what he brings to the table. I'm not looking at it like he's going to go out there. He's not going to be Brady. He's not going to be Patrick Mahomes.
I don't expect that either.
But what he is going to be somebody that's going to win you games.
Okay.
And that's the capacity which we need to, have all players. Can this guy win us a game? I think he can. Can he put it on his shoulders and him win us a game? I think he can take a game over. I think he's at that point in his career where, yes, you're giving him the weapons now. Yes, he has to go out there and prove it. But I'm more comfortable now with him being able to lead this team and win games for this team than I am with Gannon going out there and calling an aggressive game over the course of the season, being aggressive at all times, letting the hounds loose, letting them dogs go eat. I don't know if I can still trust Gannon to do that. If it gets
but the operative word in your statement is think. You said the word think 3 times. I think he can do it. And it goes back to what I said. I hope it is. I hope everything that you've said from training camp observations to what we've seen in a limited role, he was perfect on that first drive. He came out and went down the field and balled, I think we're going to see improvement. It's imperative we see an improvement, but I got to see it. I got to see it. Medication for your tooth.
This is omeprazole. This keeps my stomach from, antacids and stuff. What? This is what I'm thinking, for omeprazole. I don't need it anymore.
Hurts is gonna be all right. That's a bold move, man.
Hurts is gonna be all right.
He's tossing the pills, Derek.
Yeah, I don't need it. I'm not gonna have an upset stomach. Worried about him going out there and controlling the situation.
He wouldn't have to eat. He wouldn't have to take them pills if he left that doggone White Castles alone.
Yeah. So, Barrett, but here's the question I have for you then. And good line, Derek. You feel like he can beat the winning teams because I'm let me be clear. When they got smoked by most of the good teams, both sides of the ball were getting smoked.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts wasn't playing defense. But
yes.
Do you feel like he can go toe-to-toe with the big boys if this is a close game between a good team?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because in order to stop Jalen, you got to contain Jalen, his ability to run the ball. But now he has weapons that he can go through that he does not feel as though he has to win a game for him. Right. He doesn't have to put everything on his shoulders and throw the perfect pass. He now has a receiver that has a much bigger catch, not bigger catch radius, but a more forgiving catch radius. So when he throws the 70-30 balls, not 50-50, but 70-30, 70% of the time, A.J. Brown is going to come up with it. Or more times than not, the Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith. Smitty's going to be able to, create separation, get away from coverage, and be open so he can deliver the ball to him. I believe he can deliver those type of passes. I'm a believer.
Okay, I'm still more in Derek's camp with this. I am a wait and see. I am not a naysayer. I am not by any stretch, and I like what I've seen so far. But I just want to see it against the big boys. I just want to see it in games against good teams. So, look, I would say concern. Yeah, I'm concerned. With the quarterback position.
That's for sure. One of your concerns right there.
Yeah, it would be one of my concerns. Yeah, I think it would be.
Dan's deal makes a good point. Tampa did just fine containing Jalen Hurts. Now, you don't think other defensive coordinators have studied those tapes?
Well, you know what it's going to be early in the year. It's going to be don't let him hurt you with your legs and make him beat us in the air. In particular,
him beat you through there until he can prove it.
Yeah, in particular, like sort of the middle game, if you will. I think that's what and look, he starts making those throws and stays in the pocket and doesn't always roll right. That'll stop real fast. Like that'll stop real quick.
And see, coming out of the gate, they're playing a team in Detroit that's still trying to find its identity and still building. We don't look at Detroit as a dominant type defense, an upper echelon defense. They're building a better team right now still. But so we expect him to do very good things against the likes of a Detroit defense because of their team from last year and the fact
because of the way the Eagles took them apart last year.
Apart, right? So I think the bigger test is that second game when they play Minnesota. On that Monday night
because Minnesota's probably going to put some points up, and you're going to have
to. And you're going to have to dodge that defense. Minnesota right now on paper has 3 of the best linebackers in the game.
Yeah.
You have to dodge that defense.
They're one of my surprise teams. I like the Vikings.
So all right, so this this is my
bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
Sorry. Sorry, Marvin.
Exactly.
Hope it doesn't happen for you, Marvin.
You line Jalen Hurts up out there. You know he can run the ball.
Yep.
You kept an 8th defender in the entire second half of last season because of their ability to run the ball.
Yep.
Oh, but he went out and got a brand new shiny toy.
Yep.
In A.J. Brown.
Yep.
You can't leave him one-on-one in single coverage on the outside. You cannot leave Dallas Goedert, who's coming into his own, one-on-one with a linebacker or a safety in the middle of the field. You can't go out there and leave one-on-one Devontae Smith and not think that he didn't have the ability to go out there and get the ball to him. He didn't have that last year.
Right.
Jalen Reagor was awful at creating separation. He had to throw a perfect pass in order for him to catch it. He doesn't have to throw a perfect pass to the receivers he has now.
Barrett, good points. I agree. I agree with all fair points. Yeah.
You can't leave Quez Watkins one-on-one.
Absolutely.
Not with that speed.
Then when you look at this, now you have the ability to run the ball when you want to run the ball with this offensive line. You have the ability to throw the ball because nobody can cover the guys, or it's hard to cover guys that they have out there that are receivers. Then you add his second year in this offense, knowing the offense, and now he has the proper mechanics now to go drop back and deliver the ball with a much clearer mindset, a much clearer head on him being the guy and the organization backing him up as the guy. That's where I see he's going to be a better person, a better player, because he has things around him that are helping him go in that direction.
And Barrett, I hope you are 100% right in your assessment of him. But the exercise is, as we sit here today, what concerns do you have? And that's a big concern for a lot of people. That's a big concern for a lot of people.
It's just not for me now.
Yeah, including so-called experts who have converged on Eagles practices, people who watch every day, watch their team practice every day. It's still a big question, and it's a viable question. What are we going to see? We've heard it. You know what they say? The bottom line is see it and be it. I got to see it. I got to see if he can see it and be it. That's all. Right.
Let me ask you guys.
You say.
Barry, you first, because Derek and I kicked this around yesterday, but Kareem Hunt, I don't see Cleveland moving him, but if they do, are you in? And how heavy would you go in?
In a Philadelphia, I ain't gonna say a New York minute, in a Philadelphia minute.
Okay.
He's shown the pattern. Now I was going at it with Rube about this the other day. He is a bona fide number one running back who's been on the highest stage, who's competed and shown that he is a really good running back. It just so happened the guy in front of him right now is an excellent running back. Nick Chubb is an excellent running back. But when you look at the intangibles this kid has, he's 5'11", 220 pounds, can run in between the tackles, can catch out the backfield. For the most part, he's been relatively healthy. Why wouldn't you want a player like that when you can get him for next to nothing? You know what I'm saying? A bona fide back, you won't have to worry about it. Now, the only thing is he wants a contract. That's why
he's heading into the last year of his deal like Miles Sanders is.
Yes. So, I mean, would you trade him tit for tat with Miles Sanders?
Absolutely. What? In a minute.
Yeah, I would. I would. The only thing is, though, it's going to be a rental because I don't see the Eagles giving him a massive contract. Do you guys?
No.
So you're doing it knowing it's going to be 1 year. Keep in mind, too, he's missed time, too. He only played 8 games last year.
Yeah. That's why I said
your big concern with Miles is injuries and a little bit of that issue with Kareem, too.
Cleveland would I'd be shocked if Cleveland trade him. You have a severe deficiency at quarterback. What was your bread and butter last year? Defense and your running game. You got to run the ball and keep a lot of pressure off a quarterback.
Well, they showed some guys that could play well for him in the preseason, though.
Yeah.
And their incentive to run is even greater now in Cleveland. With
you got one of the best one-two punches in the NFL. Why would you give that away when you got this guy on a song and dance contract right now? And he's hungry.
I don't care that he's unhappy. He can walk at the end of the year.
He can walk. He can sit. You can sit. You don't get paid.
I don't care.
You don't get paid. We need you this year.
Exactly.
At least the first 11 games, we need you now.
So let me throw.
You don't play.
One more into the mix. Kenyon Drake, they're looking to move. Is going to be moved in Vegas. Bigger size, 6'1". Had a good year 2 years ago. They've spent a lot of money to bring him in there, and he's going to be gone. Is he a guy you'd look at?
Yeah, they traded for him too. Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
He'd be another guy that be great to come in and he'd probably take over the lead though. I don't think there's anything stopping anybody from coming in and taking a position from Miles Sanders because he can't stay healthy. Maybe that incentive will make him healthy. It seems like they've given Miles Sanders, as the heir to the throne of being the starting running back. They haven't brought anybody in to compete with him at that position.
Right.
Drake will come in.
You're right. It's clear what Boston Scott and Gainwell are. They're second fiddles, for sure. But
sometimes you need that added incentive to get guys going. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, and you do run it, and Big William makes a good point. Drake's another guy who's been hurt. He's coming off a very serious injury here. So
Drake, I want to make sure my medical team has thoroughly checked that broken ankle that he suffered.
Yeah.
Before I even think about bringing him in. Now he's played in the 2 preseason games for the Raiders, but the Raiders they have a surplus of backs. They would. I think they would take a cap hit if they cut Drake. But
they would.
They got a bunch of young ballers who fit that system well there. If Drake is healthy, why not take a shot at him? Take a good look at him.
And that's why I said compete. Yeah. Compete with him in the same room. I'm not saying when you get Miles Sanders,
right?
He has to be healthy, man. I mean, he's never available, man. He's got to be available to go out there and play. So, that's just the nature of being a running back, man. Nobody's ever healthy at running back.
Yeah, no, I hear
there's not a lot of APs out here. You know what I mean?
Well, all right, let me ask you guys this. Where's your bar set for this year? Does it have to be at least 1 playoff win? Does it have to be at least 2 playoff wins? Where are you guys in terms of me? For me, it's 1 playoff game. That's an improvement on last year. But there are a lot of people that are, Super Bowl, NFC Championship game or bust. Where do you guys fall, Barrett?
I'm going to go, they need at least 1-1. When they need to at the very least, win 1. Let's show that positive progression of being, what we think they're going to be, and that's pretty good. I expect double-digit win total out of these guys. So, it's either go out there and prove that you've gotten better, prove that, Hurts is your quarterback, prove that Gannon is worth all the hoopla they're talking about. And in order to do that, you got to get into at least the second round of the playoffs. Maybe even making it to the championship game, competing at the championship game. That's probably what competing in the championship game where I put it.
Okay. How about you, Derek?
That's 2 games.
Yeah, that's 2 playoff wins.
Yeah,
okay.
2 playoff games.
Depending on buys and whatever. But
I'll take 1 playoff win because that's a progression. That's a step in the right progression. You got the team to the playoff last year as a first-year head coach. Now you know what it takes. You brought back a lot of these young players that played for you last year. Now they, as well as the veterans who were there, who are still here from that Super Bowl era, you know what it takes to get not only to the playoffs but to win in a much more magnified scenario. And I think that's a progression in the right step in terms of you got there, you won one. If you win more than one, more power to you. If you get to that championship game, and if you bowed out in the championship game, you're way ahead of the curve. But I'll just say, I'll take the one playoff win just to show me that you're moving in the right direction. You're stocked in draft picks next year to make the product even better. You know, certain players who are here this year are not going to be here next year. You're going to go out and get certain free agents to try to enhance the product even more so in 2023. You're well stocked for the upcoming draft in 23 as well. You got 2 first-round draft picks right now. So to me, winning a playoff game under this regime, to me, I'm satisfied with that.
I'm with you. Second-year head coach, second-year coordinators, second year as a full-time starter quarterback, young at some spots. A taste of it last year. Now you should win a playoff game. And look, to me, that's got to be that's the seal. That's the floor. It's got to be at least that. If you could progress even more, great. But I can live with that. Let's say you lose to a Tampa or a Green Bay in the second round, and you hang with them.
Right.
I'm coming away feeling of course I want them to win, but I can live with that if that's the case, because I feel like they are taking those steps. So that's where I'm at. It's got to be at least a playoff win. All right, we come back. So later on, a couple NFL things. I mentioned there's a couple of injury updates from teams the Eagles play early in the season, which could help them. Brady's back for the Bucs. We didn't get into this yesterday, Gunnar. This weird Dana White story with Brady and Gronk going to Vegas. We'll talk about that, which is crazy. Jesse Bates update. The Saints or the Bengals safety, who everybody coveted for a very long period of time. We'll dive into that as well. All kinds of stuff. We're up to week 12, which is Thanksgiving of the schedule, which we will go through. But we come back. Phillies won. They bounce back against the Reds. There are guys that are starting to get hot at the right time. Yes, I'm about to say it. Nick Castellanos is one of them. So we will dive into that. I know, Gunnar. Yes, I said it. We will get into that and Alec Boehm and updates on Bryce Harper. We've got all kinds of stuff in store. Birthdays a little bit later. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, with threat vectors evolving, it's never been more important to monitor all the changes in your work environment and set up automated alerts for when something violates an existing policy. Get visibility into the pivotal changes happening to your systems and networks with IT support from Razor Technology. Change management is an end-to-end solution for tracking changes all across the systems and networks your business administers so that it has transparency into who is making changes with enough time to respond and take corrective action if necessary. An unauthorized user, device, or application doesn't need very long to cause serious financial and reputational damage to an organization by altering, damaging, or stealing sensitive data. That's why Razor Technology uses real-time change detection to catch malicious actors in minutes, not days or weeks. Contact Razor Technology today to learn how our managed IT services can protect and enhance your business. Very simple. Call them 866-797-3282. That's 866-797-3282, or visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of stateside vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
All right, we are back. Chair, Barrett, Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, hanging out with you today on this lovely, lovely Tuesday. So I saw some folks mentioning this, I guess, yesterday and today in the chat room, Barrett, in the chat section. Have you? I haven't. I have not. But have you seen the Manti Te'o catfishing documentary yet? Everybody's telling me it's unbelievable.
No, I haven't, but I've talked to a couple of people who kind of close to the situation, and it's crazy, man. How I mean, it didn't just come out. All right, you know, this guy was talking to her like 4 or 5 years, and it, you know, he wasn't, and then you know she wasn't. I mean, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, man.
It seems like people are from it are having a lot more sympathy for him that he
Yes.
really got. He got
Yes.
really snookered and like wasn't trying to deceive people as much. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see it, but that's just sort of the vibe I'm getting from people. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's crazy. Like they're saying, it's a must watch. I haven't watched it yet.
Jacob saying that on the chat. Yeah,
but I've like I said, I've talked to a couple of people that kind of close to the situation, and it was actually, you know, it actually like
Fitness Rebel said
progression.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a progression. You know, it wasn't just like these all of a sudden, all right, you know. I mean, just dealing with, you know, he's Polynesian. He's almost naive in the
like he's not as versed in like the culture. Not that he grew up in Hawaii, but I'm just saying like he's maybe not as street savvy as some people are.
Right.
You know,
he's a Mormon.
Yeah,
he's a Mormon. So. And you know, especially with Polynesians in the Mormon culture, especially in Hawaii, Samoa, places like that, they live to a different set of rules. They live to a different. I mean, there's not a city hustle and bustle type of.
It's very close knit in their community.
Very close knit. You know, they like to marry within the Mormonism type of way. You know, I mean, it's a lot, man. You know, so you really. Once you see it, they say, once you see it, you really kind of understand why he went through it, how everything was, you know, almost put to, you know, almost put him in a position like he knew something was going on, but didn't know, doing things the right way as far as with his faith,
right? Understanding
how you're supposed to conduct yourself with your culture. Just things just fell into place. That it was shady, but it wasn't as though, you know, he was just, totally a nutcase for not, for not.
And again, I want to check it out in fairness to him because it was he got lambasted when it all got exposed.
I mean, it ruined his career. He couldn't even.
Yeah,
he
was just a guy in the NFL. He was a great player at Notre Dame. He was just a guy in the NFL. He did not. Yeah, that's right. We were talking about the Manti Te'o documentary.
Right,
we haven't seen it. Just a lot of people.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's worth watching. So for what it's worth. All right, so little Phillies here, guys. They win last night over the Reds. They bounce back after much needed win after that weekend they had. They win 4-1. They now have the second spot in the wild card. I can't quite figure out exactly how Syndergaard's doing it because he doesn't miss a lot of bats, man. He had 1 strikeout. He went 7 innings, only allowed 3 hits. It's a lot of contact, but maybe it's some of the teams that he's facing because he has faced some favorable teams since he got to the Phillies. Nonetheless, they've won all 4 of the games that he started. So I got to give him that at least. He's really worked on his mechanics to try to improve things. The guy is trying anything he can to get himself better. I'll give him props.
What's his ERA? 3.60. 3.60 since he's joined his Phillies team. And you're right, he's had some favorable matchups. And I'm still trying to figure out is he that guy to be a starter for this team?
I'm not sold.
I want to see him go against the Braves and the Mets and the Dodgers before I make that determination. But you know what? The bottom line is when he's on the hill, they win, and that's all you can ask right now.
Yeah.
And if he's still working on his mechanics, what better way to figure out what you're doing right and what not is when you step on the hill against the likes of the Cincinnatis, the Washingtons, the Miami, and teams like that, where you can make certain mistakes, but you have the backup to get you out of those mistakes.
Right.
I don't care much about who he's going against, as long as he's going against him and he's winning. That's all I care about. Yeah. I got to stop thinking like this, just like when I'm looking at, this last weekend series against the Mets. I got to stop thinking about the entire thing and just think about, all right, who's the next guy? Because the only way I'm going to stay sane, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because they should have came out of 2-2.
Yep.
As long as what I was thinking. But if I'm being realistic, there's no way that they even thought about being that, just everything's just going wrong. Like how do you have someone in a Mets jersey throw out the game ball?
Inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And they have a policy which needs to be done away with, by the way, but they have a policy that if you buy more tickets, your group than like, I guess anybody else or whatever, and they bought a ton, 1,200 tickets. I don't know exactly.
That's BS, Rob.
No,
I don't care who it is. You can't go out of my diamond and throw a starting pitch with that jersey on.
100%.
I don't care how many you bought. You could have bought 100.
That policy needs to be thrown into the trash can. I don't care.
The policy is cool. It's you can still do it, but you're not throwing a pitch
in an opponent's
jersey.
That's fair.
That's not happening.
Yeah, either you get rid of the policy or you lose that part of it. We make the judgment on your wardrobe, your attire, whatever. Yeah, there's under no circumstance can that ever happen that guy's throwing that pitch out.
I know you lost it, didn't you?
I did. Look, Barrett, it's one thing if they're going to fill up the seats. That's a whole different discussion. But that's an honor to throw out we did it. We threw out the first pitch. That's an honor. That's a big deal. That can't happen. It can't happen with a guy in a Mets jersey.
What did you do, man? What did you do when it happened?
I freaked, dude. I was going bananas. It can't happen. I mean, I thought it was a joke at first. I thought was going to happen. I swear to you guys, I thought it was going to be he walks out in that, gets a couple boos, and then goes, rips it open, and he's got a Philly shirt on. He stomps on the Mets jersey.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like a little wrestling sort of routine. Right.
I thought the fanatic was going to go out there and tackle him or something.
Or the fanatic goes out there like he's walking out. The fanatic rips the jersey off from behind or something like that, and then does a dance on it. Yes, I did. Too.
I'll tell you what was even more gut wrenching is listening for over a span of 3 days, Mets fans out cheering Phillies fans in the Philly stadium.
Yes,
I was like, what? I'm not used to it. I'm like, what? Now we're used to it in football because when the Eagles contingent, when they travel is large, I'm used to hearing Eagles fans drown out the home fans when they're on the road. But I'm not used to hearing that in the Philly stadium. When the opposing team comes in, the fan base is out cheering the home fans.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that was upsetting to me.
Me too.
Bro, I've had that happen. I've had it happen in the opposite. I've had, we go to a stadium and there's more Steeler fans or more Eagles fans than another fan base. I mean, I've had that happen before, but I was just dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. I actually changed the channel. I'm like, this can't be happening. This could not be happening. This could not be happening.
Yeah, and all it did was compound an awful weekend.
Yes.
Really. That's all it did. It just made it that much worse with the way that you lost games on the field, to have that going on in the seats and that going on prior to the game.
Man.
It just made it that much worse, man.
At no point did I feel like we had an opportunity to win. Even when we won, I didn't feel like we really won.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of felt you went back into some bad places that you thought you had moved on from, like Girardi years, Kapler years. It had that feel. Didn't have the Rob Thompson era feel, unfortunately. So, look, they got back on the right track last night. Here's the good news. If you're really looking to string together some wins here and some mojo as you go into September, they don't play a team with a winning record till September 16th.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's at Atlanta when you get the Braves then. You can really get going here right now with this stretch. And it started last night. It needs to continue. Now, good news is Bryce Harper begins rehab tonight in Lehigh Valley. You may get him back before September. That's how quickly he might be back. He might be back in the Arizona series. So that's 2 series from now. So he's getting close, which is good. You've had other setbacks in your bullpen. They sent down Derek Hall. Numbers crunch.
See that happen.
I know. I feel bad for the kid. He's not a kid. He's 27. Yeah. I feel bad for the guy. What they're doing is Suarez will start tonight. Tomorrow's going to be – they're bringing Christopher Sanchez back up again. So they're trying to buy everybody a day of rest is what they're doing. So they're with that and the combination of the injuries they've had in the bullpen, there's just not – they want to get Hall at bats every day. They don't want him, sitting. So he'll be back. He very well could be back in September when they expand the rosters. So it'll be a short stint probably, but too bad for him. I thought he did a nice job for them.
Rob, I just knew you went nuts, bro.
I did. I'm still a little injured from it, Barrett. I got to tell you, I'm not. I'm like you were in the dentist chair yesterday. I was angry. I was hurt. I was throwing forearms at people. It wasn't pretty, man. So a couple really good notes here, though. And Derek, you'll appreciate this. Nick Castellanos last night, 2 for 4, home run double, 2 RBIs. Over the course of the last 25 games, 347 average, 6 doubles, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. He has legitimately heated up, and it's feeling more and more like it's real.
I told you, Rob, give him time to get acclimated to his surroundings.
No, that took too damn long, bro.
I agree.
It
took 3 quarters of the year, man. He should.
Yeah, but I told you it was coming. Better late than never.
Oh, I hope. Look, a hot September from him could go a long way.
I was gonna say, would you rather have him struggle early in the season or late in the season?
All right, that's fine. Okay. Let's get as hot as you were cold early in the year. Then let's really kick off.
Well, he's heating up. You just gave the numbers. He's heating up.
It's real. The other guy I got to give love to is Bohm, and he's dragging a quad around a little bit. But man, what this guy has done, and it's a shame because his efforts this weekend were just in vain. They were just wasted. But you look at what he's doing since June 24th now. I mean, that's a 2-month stretch here. Right. He's hitting 348 in 191 plate appearances. I mean, that is production. He's starting to hit the long ball a little bit too. Yeah. I mean, this dude has turned it around and then some.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, they're going to need him too down the stretch. Hopefully that quad holds up. Here we go. So all of a sudden, every week we're hearing another Philly dinged up. We've been focused on Harper for so long, but now Schwarber's still trying to hang with that calf situation. A calf, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Okay, so he's hanging in there with the calf situation. You don't know when that thing could go good or bad. Like we talked about yesterday, Knable's gone for the season. Dominguez is on a 10-day DL. Who else? Who else is?
Knable's out for the year.
it's like they're nicked up. It's like they're being held together by super glue and rubber bands right now, man.
There's some issues right now. They really if Sir Anthony comes off the IL clean, it's going to go a long way to their success, because that they may have avoided a real biggie if that's the case. But some other
stuff
just
happens, man. That just goes with the nature of playing sports, man. Towards the end, everybody's going to be hurt. So I mean, it's the teams that get through it, man. And when some teams do better than others. I mean, this happens to be one of the teams that they do better than most teams when they have injuries. They've been through some very bad injuries and have started playing better, after the injury. So we'll see. I do like what I'm seeing from them. As far as, being able to, all right, next man up, or not next man up, but next guy in the rotation.
Yeah.
As far as, coming in and giving a little jump. There hasn't been anybody since, Schwarber that was just bombing things early that has consistently been a bomber, for the past month. We don't have that same guy right now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I just we always have to keep in perspective. They've survived now 2 months without Harper, and for about half of that, at least, Gene Segura was out too. So just to be in the position that they're in is still, they deserve some props. And now they appear, if they get Sir Anthony back, they get Harper back, they're set up pretty good to get it going here, down the stretch. So. And with some of the teams they're playing, which are not very good. 21 games. They're 21 games over 500 versus teams other than the Mets. They've really dominated everybody except the Mets. The Mets dominated them. So you're not going to be playing the Mets again this season. So look at it that way if you're looking for positives.
Yeah, next time they play them, it's going to mean something.
Let's hope, man. All right, so we come back to football. Again, there's a lot of football news in and around. We'll also dig into Thanksgiving week and those good games as well, and 3 games that are being played on Thursday also. So don't go anywhere. Barrett, Derek, Rob, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this Tuesday. All right, let's talk a little Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will remove and trim, by the way, any unwanted trees off of your property, and they offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So here's the question. If you have any issues with a tree in your yard, your property, some brush, whatever the case may be, if you do have, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees. They serve southeastern PA, South Jersey, northern Delaware as well. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. And keep in mind, we're in that time of year now. It's storm time, hurricane season. Now's a great time to have your trees evaluated. Make sure, we get a strong gust, man, or a really bad storm. This bad boy's not coming down. You got to make sure and be careful with that kind of stuff. Go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com, flynntreeservices.com.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
We're back, Sports Take. Let's hit that like button, folks. We appreciate it. Tell a friend about the show, about the channel. JAKIB Sports YouTube channel is phenomenal. Go to jakibsports.com as well to check out all of our content. Our guy John McMullen on there, and John will be joining us over the course of the next 2 days as the Eagles practice in Miami. So we're looking forward to getting updates and reports of actually, somebody there eyeballing this stuff and what's going on. So we'll talk to John the next couple of days. All right. So, NFL news, guys. First and foremost, I found this one interesting. Chase Young, the defensive end from the Washington Commanders, he has been put on the PUP list, which means he's going to miss at least the first 4 games, which means the Eagles will avoid him. I don't like seeing anybody hurt. I'm not celebrating that the guy is injured, but it does help the Eagles. Apparently, his injury was a lot worse. He had a torn patellar tendon too. Yep. There was a lot going on with this injury, and it's a pretty serious rehab. This isn't one of those where, hey, it's 2022, everybody comes back from an ACL. Like, there's a lot going on with that injury, especially for a guy that explosive. So it may be a while. Yeah. But that's a big one for Washington not to have him first 4 games. Yeah, that really affects Jack Del Rio's scheme overall.
Absolutely.
He is their premier pass rusher. As good as that defensive front is, he's their premier pass rusher, and that really hurt. Montez Sweat had a great season last year, but he's not this dude, So yeah. You're right. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I like seeing competitors go at it full strength and may the best man win. But wow, that's a big blow to Washington.
Big time.
I tore my patellar tendon and I was out for 12 months. Well, I was actually 16 months. I ripped my whole quad muscle from my patellar tendon.
Oh man.
Yeah, Barry, I mean, it is a difficult, arduous rehab, and he also tore his MCL. Like, this was a really bad one. So, I don't know if there's a guarantee he's ready to roll after those 4 games, but he definitely won't be there for the first 4. So
he hasn't practiced at all, right?
I don't believe he has.
He hasn't done anything. Patellar tendon, that's one of the worst you could do, man.
No joke. Yeah, it's no joke. They lost their backup center too. They placed he tore his Achilles, Tyler Lawson. So they have some depth issues along both lines.
What is it with all these linemen across the league going down, man? Keep your fingers crossed. The Eagles stay healthy. Jeez.
No, you're right. So that's an interesting one for sure.
Then you got the Giants losing their entire. Everybody's going with that team, man.
Their draft picks are gone. All the draft picks are out, man.
I know. We had Jordan Reynon on yesterday, man, and he was talking about some of the injuries, and you're just like, whoa, it's hard to even keep up with how many.
What exactly? I know
offensive line in particular.
That's
major
crazy.
Issues. Yeah, major issues on the offense.
Not only that, but like 6 of their draft picks are out right now.
Yeah,
from this year.
Right.
I saw the Thibodeau. I don't know when we're going to get into that, man. But
we'll get into it 1 second. Just let me throw one more out there because the Eagles play Detroit week 1. Jamison Williams won't play either. He still hasn't recovered from the ACL that he tore in college at Bama. so he won't be around for Detroit for that same thing. He's going to be pupped. So anyway, yeah. So two matchups where the Eagles won't face somebody who could potentially, be a quality opponent.
Well,
right there.
Man, he was probably the best receiver in that draft. So
I know.
They dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
They dodged the bullet.
Well, all right, Barrett. So Derek and I talked a little bit, but I'm curious where you fall. So Kayvon Thibodeau gets it's Thaddeus Moss, who's Randy's son, who's a tight end for Cincinnati, cuts him on the line. Really awkward. With all things considered, it's a lot better than what they thought it was going to be. He could probably miss upwards of 4 weeks, which may just preclude him from the very first game. But there was a lot of debate and among retired players too, whether it was a clean hit or a dirty hit. Where do you fall on it?
I mean, I don't understand. Dirty hit. I'm trying to figure out how they both made eye contact when he was going to hit him. They made eye contact. He sees what's going on. And that was the biggest half-ass effort I've ever seen with the block. Well, I can't say that because it's a tight end. But he kind of went down, fell to the ground, then rolled at him. Play the position the way it's supposed to be played, Thibodeau. Get your hands down, shut him down. It was just, it looked like they were going to slow motion. That's why he got hurt, because he was half-ass playing.
Right.
He didn't move his feet.
No. He didn't move his feet. He didn't use his hands to extend them. He saw the block coming. It took a whole country minute for it to happen, bro. It was like, all right, he's coming. All right, he's going down. Okay, all right, now let me put my hands down. Okay, he's still coming. He's rolling. Oh, man, he just hit my leg. Come on, bro.
Right.
Go full speed. If you know what? If that had happened back when I was playing, and I hate to be the guy, get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Ken Harvey would have knocked that tight end's teeth out. He'd have ran straight through him, exploded through his face. But he just sat there, waited on him, put his hands down like this. You're supposed to shed the block. Put your hands down. Keep your feet moving. He could have just jumped over him.
Exactly. He could have sidestepped him.
Yeah. It was funny because Warren Sapp, I guess he's taken up for defensive lineman, whatever. He called it the hit dirty AF. We all know what that means. All right. So then after he threw that out there, I just saw like a ton of replies from former players saying, "You kidding me, man? Where are Thibodeau's eyes? Where is he? Where are his feet?
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing here?" So, I mean, is it a play that you like? I get maybe the argument is, hey, it's a preseason game. Maybe that's your argument, but it's not an illegal play. It's not.
And when I first heard about it, because I didn't see it. When I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, man, what happened? He must have ran through his body.
Right.
I see the block, and then somebody sent it to me. I looked at it, and once it happened, I'm looking. So I was like, all right, let me fast forward. Let me find out where this dirty block is. That was it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Grow up, man. Be a man.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Randy Moss is like, not like, oh, why'd you do it? He's probably like, son, why you going there with that half-ass block? You go full speed when you're out there playing.
Right.
What are you doing?
And he's a guy who's trying to make the team too.
Yeah.
He's not guaranteed a spot by any stretch, Thaddeus Moss. Yeah.
I think Brian Daboll said it best yesterday. It's a legal play. We've done it. You hate to see it happen. We've done it, but there's nothing you can do about it. We're just thankful that it wasn't worse. I mean, what else are you going to say? I mean, the head coach of the team of the player that happened to said, "Hey, we've done it. We do it."
To compare it to the Quincy Williams hit on Jalen Hurts, like, give me a break. That was a dirty play.
That was dirty. That was stupid.
Period. Yeah, that was a cheap shot,
bro.
I was curious what your take was, Barrett, on that.
No, it was some BS, man. Like, come on, now, you really kidding me, man? I could see if it was like along the lines of like, what's second baseman for the Phillies.
Oh, Chase Utley taking somebody out at second.
Yeah, I can see if it was like that. He wasn't even running towards the base.
Right.
If that was I'd understand that.
Yeah.
If that was like the Chase slide, yeah, I understand. He broke his leg. He wasn't even sliding towards the base.
Right.
But I'm talking about somebody you see him. Your eyes are focused on. You see him coming.
You're looking right at it.
That was ridiculous, man. That was ridiculous.
That was lazy on his part.
Yes. Both blocks were the block was lazy.
And look, I'm glad the dude isn't hurt badly. You know, but yeah, I hear you. You're going to be dealing with that stuff in the NFL. It just is. Excuse me. It just is what it is.
If the dude had a blindsided him, it would have been a much more heated discussion.
Right.
There was no blindside. There was no interference between the two combatants.
Yeah.
He's standing there looking at this dude coming in, and he's saying, "I'm going for your lower extremities."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't jump over him, sidestep him, push him away with your hands, stonewall him with your hands, nothing. You took the full extent of that blow yourself.
All right. So this story, I meant to get to it yesterday, Derek, and we didn't. So I'm glad I have both of you guys here. So they're doing a UFC event, and Dana White, who's the commissioner of the UFC, the owner of it, the whole thing, relays a story how he's originally from New England. He lives in Vegas. He had somehow facilitated communication and potentially a deal with the Raiders and Gruden. This is when John Gruden and Mike Mayock are still at the Raiders, okay? Think back to the year. It was the year that the Tampa Bay Bucks won it, all right? So two seasons ago. Brady's a free agent. Gronk's a free agent. Dana White had convinced both of those guys to go there. It sounds like everybody was on board, and at the last second, Gruden put the kibosh on it. Now, if you say, "Oh, come on," Dana White's just talking out of his rear end, Gronk confirmed it in that discussion. So it's not BS. But man, that is not a good look for Gruden. You could have had the GOAT and Gronk potentially, and who knows what happens that year if you have those two guys. But he shot it down, and the rest is history. Brady goes to Tampa and wins it. Yeah.
That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you thinking about? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I don't know what his motivation would be for. He just believes in Derek Carr that much? Maybe?
No. He wanted to run his system. If Brady comes there, he would have had to change that system, just as Bruce Arians did. Bruce Arians was smart enough to realize, Tom, what worked for you so well in New England? Okay, everybody, strap the book. Throw script out.
Yep.
Listen to what Tom Brady said that we're going to do. They won the Super Bowl the first year.
Right.
John Gruden, with that complicated system of his where you got like 85 syllables in one play call, and everybody standing going, huh? What did he just say? He wanted to run his system.
Yeah.
How do you not take Tom Brady over Derek Carr? That's not a knock against Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback.
Right.
But to have Tom Brady come in there,
why X-Banana Z-Cross?
What?
Yeah.
Umbrella over his right.
Yeah.
Dogtail stick.
Yeah, we're going to throw out the banana. Yeah, throw the banana out.
Remember when Gruden was on a Hard Knocks when he was in Tampa and you got to hear his play call? Play call was like 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah. It was the whole play clock. You're like, all right.
Come on, man.
All right. What else? Barrett, you lived it with him.
Bro, it was ridiculous, man. All we just we listened to the first three letters, what the play was, and what was it on. That's all we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Gruden,
that's a classic case of your ego getting in the way, man.
Yeah.
Just
Gruden
getting in the way.
He would not have had any control over the offense or the quarterback.
Yeah.
At least he had Derek Carr's ear and he had his offensive structure in place, what he wanted to run. Yeah. I can't believe the ownership let that happen. Forget Gruden. I can't believe management let that happen.
Yeah. Mark Davis.
Yep. Look, John. We got the GOAT. We got the GOAT and one of the best tight ends ever to play the game. They want to come here, play for us.
Yeah.
You're going to have to change your philosophy, not them. They have winning pedigree.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Fair enough.
All right, you got one Super Bowl. You got 5 Super Bowls. One Super Bowl, 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, sorry, Gruden.
Yep.
And when was the last time the Raiders won a Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Jeez.
And then what? The next year, all that stuff comes out from Washington.
Oh my goodness.
And that's it. That's all she wrote. Yeah. Now Gruden's doing them. So yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, I wanted to hit you guys with some quarterbacks that are in question, meaning we're not sure exactly how it's going to work out for them. We won't do Hurts because we've done Hurts and we did it a ton earlier in the show. So when people say, "Well, where's Jalen Hurts?" Yes, he's in the group, but we already really covered it. But you guys tell me how you think some of these guys are going to do this year. All right, I'll just sort of rapid fire them, and it's a combination of guys who have been around a little bit in new places and either rookies or young guys starting really for the first time, okay? Trey Lance. Barrett, I'll start with you. How do you think he's going to do in San Fran?
I think he'll be fine. It's going to take him a while. They're going to have to customize that offense around him, but we know Shanahan is a genius at doing stuff like that anyways. I mean, at this point, if he does, they still have a safety net there because they still got both quarterbacks there. I still don't think that, Jimmy G is going to go anywhere because of that. But I do like, I do like that they, all right, this is what we're doing. We're venturing forward. This is our quarterback. We're going to go forward. We're going to try to, figure out what he does. How can we make him a better player? We got the athletes around him. I think he'll be okay.
Okay, Derek?
He adds an element that Garoppolo didn't have. He can take off and scat if he has to, so he has the legs as well. And Barrett is exactly right. Kyle Shanahan is a great offensive mind. They will conform that offense around him. They already have everything else in place. Offensive line, defensive line, tight end, running back, wide receivers. All they need is somebody to manage the game. He's going to go through some growing pains, no question about that. But when you turn the reins over to a young, untested quarterback, you think he's ready to go. And obviously the 49ers, who have basically put Garoppolo in the back seat, mainly because he's still damaged goods, his shoulder. They don't know what his shoulder is going to be like. They had to get this kid up to speed in a hurry. So I think he's going to be fine within the structure of that 49ers framework.
I think he's going to have a little – I think it's going to be a struggle early, and then I think he'll get more comfortable. I think they'll settle in more on how to utilize him best. They have a good setup. They have a good running game. They have Debo, who can kind of do both. They have Kittle. They have, with the exception of really one spot, a pretty good offensive line. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, though. And they have a defense. They have a good defense. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get comfortable and them to get comfortable with him. So I think you might see early growing pains. I haven't really studied their actually, I'll do it right now. I'll pull their schedule up here, and let's see how difficult it is, San Francisco. So, all right, so early on for them, it's pretty favorable, actually, the first two. They're at Chicago and then Seattle at home. So they could get off to a good start. Then they go to Denver, and then they play the Rams. But then they get Carolina and Atlanta. Really, of their first 5 games or 7 games, 5 are pretty favorable. So anyway, I think he'll be a little slow to start, but I think then he'll pick it up. All right, let's go Trevor Lawrence, Derek. Now with a real coach and a guy who's coached quarterbacks before in Doug P.
I think Trevor Lawrence will show more so of the Trevor Lawrence we saw at Clemson because of Doug Peterson, because of the investment that team made in terms of getting better personnel around him. And they've already been raving about an improved Trevor Lawrence down in Jacksonville. Because of that alone, I think he'll make a significant progression. Trevor Lawrence can be a good quarterback in this league if you put him in the right system. Well, you made a mistake by putting him under Urban Meyer, which could have shattered him his first year.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence is a different pedigree when it comes to quarterbacks. And now that you have a proven coach who has won a Super Bowl, who has proven that he can work with young quarterbacks as he did. I know Frank Reich gets a lot of credit for what Carson was, but Doug Peterson also had a significant hand in that as well. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show you much better results than he did his year last year.
Okay. All right. Barrett?
Absolutely. We're talking about a guy he was almost bred by his parents to be a great quarterback. He's from a young kid, since he's like 7 years old, they try to make him the number 1 quarterback in the nation. And he and Justin Fields went back and forth, in all those camps and 7-on-7s and all that stuff to become, the best quarterbacks, they could be. And I think he is the prototype that you want as a quarterback. He's not just a quarterback that sits in the pocket. He has skill. He can run. He's an athlete, strong arm, can grasp systems. He was just in a bad situation. Doug is going to make sure that he comes out of this smelling like a lily, man. He will be one of the best quarterbacks. Within the next 3 or 4 years, he'll be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, guaranteed.
I'm with you. I watched enough of him in college that
Yep.
he is absolutely the real deal. It's just a matter of getting the pieces around him. If the offensive line, which stunk last year, is even mediocre, you're going to see this dude take leaps and bounds of improvement. So I'm a big believer there. I would ask you this, Barry. I want to start with it's one of your former teams, and this is more of a collection than it is specific, but you may get to the specific. Pittsburgh. Right now, there's a lot of people saying, what are we doing? Just give it to Pickett. Stop wasting everybody's time. There are others that say, hey, Trubisky, let him start the year, et cetera. And Mason Rudolph's still in there too. Where do you fall with the Pittsburgh setup?
You know what? I don't think you stop Pickett's, Kenny Pickett's progression. I think you almost have to hand the keys over to him. Let him work through anything he needs to work through, become a starting quarterback in the NFL. Because Mr. Trubisky had his shot. And the mere fact that we're still having a conversation over who's the better quarterback just leads me to believe that Pickens is close enough right now that he could compete at a level, on the same level as Trubisky. So why not just let him go? Don't stop his growth as a player. They already know that this may be one of those telling years where they might not win, have a winning record this year.
Right.
So as they go forward, I think they go ahead and hand the keys over to him. Trubisky just hasn't done enough. He didn't learn enough under Dable for him to be a starter. Like I said, since we're having a conversation, just leads to me knowing that he's not the guy, and they're going to probably go with Pickett sooner rather than later.
How about you, Derek?
Yeah, I think they'll go with Pickett sooner rather than later once they figure out that Trubisky isn't it. The best thing for any quarterback that's playing behind a Pittsburgh offense is Pittsburgh wants to run the football. And if they have success running the football, that alleviates some of that burden on the quarterback to have to step back there 35, 40 times a game. And just watching Pickett play a little bit in the preseason, man, I mean, he can sling it. He's got a quarterback better. Now, what is Pittsburgh's receiving core like? That remains to be seen. They have one or two decent guys, but does he have enough to get the job done?
Pickens looks like a beast.
Yeah, I just George Pickens to go along with the other young receiver they have from Notre Dame,
Deontay Johnson. I think they have some nice weapons.
So I think Pickett has a chance to succeed. Now, whenever he goes in, like any young quarterback, he's going to have to take his lumps. He's going to have to go through that, but I think he's going to come out, smelling a lot better on the other side of the tunnel when it's all said and done. And I think the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh down the road is in good hands with Pickett.
Yeah, I think there's an it factor with Pickett too, which is the one thing about Tomlin is he's not afraid. Like if he thinks Pickett's ready now, it'll be Pickett. I don't think he's going to just cater to hey, I got to play a veteran. I don't believe that with Mike Tomlin.
No, he just wants to win.
I'm with you.
And if the best player is a younger guy, he won't have a problem with pulling the trigger.
Yep.
To win.
Absolutely.
Tomlin takes a lot of pride in never having a losing season in 15 years.
Right.
That's unheard of in today's game.
It really, it's an incredible mark.
Yeah. And like Barrett said, if he feels that this guy gives him a better chance to win the game, he'll put him in a minute. Won't hesitate whatsoever.
All right. Let's go with a guy who just got paid, Kyler Murray. Like, do we feel good about that setup out there? Especially considering that 6 games without DeAndre Hopkins. I thought, real quick, I don't know if you guys watched any of the Sunday night game. I thought this was interesting. Kingsbury let Kyler Murray call the plays for a quarter.
Yeah. Just
to sort of give him a feel from the other side. Like, this is what it's like when you coach and what you're seeing and all that. I thought that was, I'm not the biggest King. You guys know, I'm not a big fan of Kingsbury. But I thought that was kind of an interesting move to say, hey, I just want you to see it from this vantage point. And, as we go forward, it sounds to me like Kyler's probably bitching a lot at Kingsbury. And you said, all right, dude, why don't you look at it from this perspective? Whatever. There's a million different ways you can look at it. But Barrett, what do you think?
I don't like Kyler Murray in his game. I'm kind of turned off on Kyler Murray simply because I don't feel as though he's a team guy. I think he's a me guy. So I mean, to me, success only comes when you buy into that team concept, especially at the quarterback position. Yes, he's very talented, has a strong arm, But I don't know if this team will ride with him. You know, I don't know if they'll be happy to follow him into, you know what I'm saying, harm's way when he's acted the way he's acted last year. You know, I want to play, so I'm going to take everything off my social media that has to do with the Cardinals and take them off because I want to get paid, and I'm not going to come back unless I get paid. Come on, bro. I ain't gonna doubt. I'm not gonna stop any man from getting their money.
Right.
But there is a way in which you need to do it, and him and his leadership qualities were not what I would say garner him getting support from the rest of that team. Yeah, he may have the money, but he definitely will have a lot of guys in his corner from the way he acted.
All right, Derek.
Arizona lost 4 of its last 5 games last season. If you look at Kyler Murray's numbers overall, not very impressive in terms of being productive. Like one game against the Rams, he threw for 383 yards, but no touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 4 times. You know, so that tells me that Kyler Murray is still going through a lot of growing issues. And like Barrett said, to still be a young quarterback and to pull what he pulled to get paid, you know, deleting his social media account, taking down anything pertaining to the Arizona Cardinals. You know, I thought he went about it the wrong way. If you are the face of that franchise, the leader of that organization, then I don't know if his agent was advising him or if he did it on his own, but if whoever it was, I think they gave him the wrong message in terms of how to handle yourself as a professional athlete and as the number one leader of a team that you want to follow you. So when you have a receiver also like a DeAndre Hopkins, he can make a lot of bad passes look good. Well, you don't have DeAndre the first 6 games of the season this year. So now you got your big money. You got what you wanted. All of a sudden, as soon as you got close to getting your money, Cardinals were back on your social media platform and everything was rosy. But now your number one receiver and one of the premier pass catchers in all of pro football and out there to bail you out. It's on you. The onus is on you now. And I'm interested in seeing how he conducts his business coming out of the gate.
All right. Well, let's sort of rapid fire the rest of these because I want to get to week 12 here. Ryan Tannehill. He's got Malik Willis there in the wings at some point. They still think they can win. It's Tannehill's job, certainly right now. I think they prefer to have a red shirt for Willis in Tennessee. But he's been a guy who's been solid. But ultimately, you know, that team has not gotten as far as they would have hoped. Where do you guys stand with Tannehill? Again, rapid fire gunner.
Wow. I'm not sold on Tannehill. I mean, when you consider he had an A.J. Brown, he only had 21 touchdowns and 14 picks last year. That tells me there's still a lot of questions and marks about a guy who's been around the block for as long as he has. I'm not a big Tannehill fan. So I'm going to say he's going to struggle this year.
Okay. Barrett.
Same with me. He's going to struggle this year. I'm not a big fan of him either because he just doesn't to me. He's just not a player that, you know, I see him as an upper echelon player as far as quarterback position.
I just think in a playoff setting, if they're down, I don't feel good about him bringing them back.
Nope.
No.
All right. Matt Ryan in Indy. Barrett, hit you with this first. Rapid fire.
Upside. I like him. With that running game and that offensive line, he'll be very productive. Even with the buster receivers that he has, I think he'll be all right.
All right, Derek.
Frank Reich is there, running game, offensive line, suspect on the pass catchers, but I think Matt Ryan has proven that he can take you down the field in big game situations. Never won a Super Bowl, but he can get you down there, get you in position. I'm on the upside of Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I am too. I think he's going to do well. I think it's going to be more even a culture thing down there. They're a little shell shocked from what went down last year, and he's going to provide just sort of calming waters. And I think it's going to be good for him. And I think he and Reich will work really well together. All right, Jameis Winston.
I'm high on him.
High on him. Barrett, you're a big believer, and there's a lot of pieces around him to have success for sure.
He has a squad. I like him. Same offensive coordinator, even though Sean is not there. He sees it. He wants a new contract. He feels as though, I mean, he got a 2-year deal, but he wants to show everybody that he is the real deal. So I like him. I like what his skill set is. I don't think he goes out with all those 30 interceptions, the 30 touchdowns. I think it's going to go the opposite way. He'll have like 30 something touchdowns and probably have like 10 interceptions and that team would be pretty good.
All right, Derek.
I think you know how I feel about the situation. I mean, he was having a phenomenal year last year until he got hurt. And so with that said, Pete Carmichael is there calling the shots. It's not like he's learning a new system or anything like that. So I'm on the upside of Jameis Winston. If he stays healthy, I think Jameis Winston is going to have a good year this year. He's got everything you need at his disposal to lead a team to a very successful season. So it's on Jameis Winston to get it done. Now, if that foot injury is more than what they're letting on right now, we're going to find that out. But the fact that he threw in 7 games, 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions tells me that Pete Carmichael worked wonders with him in his first year with him. I'm on the upside of Jameis.
Tua in Miami with Mike McDaniel.
I'm not confident. I'm not confident in Tua.
Okay.
I just think that he's just on the small side, and he doesn't really have the arm capacity to throw the guys like the cheetah. I mean, there's a lot of guys don't have that arm, the arm that can, have a cannon strong enough to throw to guys like, the cheetah. You know what I'm saying? When you got a guy that's running a 4.2 40, and you just gonna throw it up there. I don't know if you trust it. I wouldn't trust Jalen throwing up to a guy like that. You got to be a gifted type of quarterback. I wouldn't trust Brady. You know what I'm saying? Getting it up in the air far enough that, have him go up, run up underneath it. So I don't know if he can run the offense that they need to run to maximize their receivers that they have there.
Derek?
Woo! You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, good running game. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. Get ready for the Teddy Bridgewater show. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I hate to agree and pile on. I think Tua is too injury prone. I don't think he has a good enough arm. I think they're going to have to try to overcompensate by having him get it out quick. And I think they're going to be disappointed. He's got Waddle, he's got Cheetah, he's got Gesicki. He's got a lot of good weapons, man. So there's every opportunity there. I don't see it. I don't see it. All right. I want to get 2 more in here. Baker Mayfield in Carolina, Derek.
Woo!
He is the starter.
Matt Rule is a great offensive coach. He's proven that at the collegiate level. The reason they struggled because he didn't have the kind of quarterback he wants to run his offense. Baker Mayfield is that kind of quarterback that can run his offense. I think Baker wants to prove. Baker has this proverbial chip on his shoulder because of the way the Cleveland situation went down. And Baker knows this could be his last chance to shine. I'm on the upside of Baker Mayfield down in Carolina. I like their offensive structure. I like Matt Rule's play calling. And I think he'll put Baker in the best position to succeed. So I'm on the upside of Baker.
All right, Barrett.
I think Baker is out and out the better quarterback, period, point blank. He just doesn't, he's just a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold just wasn't what we thought he was going to be, coming out of USC. He's just not good enough to be that type of quarterback. Baker was the number 1 pick. He's good enough to carry a team. Is that good enough to win? Yes. He's good for this team and what they're trying to do. So, yeah, I'm a believer in Baker Mayfield.
I think he's got a lot of incentive to play well, and that's a desperate team. And desperate teams sometimes can go one of 2 ways, but they don't win, they don't make the playoffs. Matt Rule's probably gone. So there's a lot of people where this is a critical season, the quarterback, the coaching staff, the team. A lot of this is McCaffrey staying healthy, but yeah, I'm buying him. I'm buying him for sure. All right, last one, Carson Wentz. Derek, you can take first crack.
Wow, you're going to make me that card.
In D.C., yes.
So far, everything we've heard out of D.C. is that Carson has struggled down there in terms of adapting. He's got the pass catchers, no question about that. He's got a nice array of pass catchers. They had a 1,000-yard rusher in Antonio Gibson last year. Offensive line is a question mark because they lost Brandon Scherf in free agency. So Carson has to show me. The fact that 2 teams gave up on him in a span of 2 seasons tells me that there's concern about him being what everybody thought he would be coming out of college. He hasn't come close to being what he was in 2017. A lot of that was due to the multitude of offensive line injuries the Eagles had the next 2 seasons. Right now, I don't see it. The fact that there's more negative talk coming out of D.C. about Carson than positive, I think that's a problem. So I'm going to say I'm on the downside of Carson right now.
I'm on the downside of Carson because I just don't like Carson.
I knew you gonna say that.
The player, I don't like Carson. His ability to be a leader of men. He has all you want in the quarterback. He has a rifle, he has a cannon of an arm, athletic. Sometimes he plays out of his mind. Sometimes he plays very pedestrian. I think he's going to play the pedestrian sides because he doesn't have the social qualities to be a good leader on a team. I don't think that he really learned that even after 1 year being in Indianapolis. So I just don't feel as though he's that guy that can, turn things around that fast.
I just think he's going to be the same, hang on to the ball too long. I think he's just in that. There's no coming out of it. I just think it's sort of who he is at this point. I don't think he'll live to see another day. I think he only knows one way. He's only interested in one way. He's stubborn to a fault. And I think it's going to continue down there. I just don't. I think he'll make a spectacular play where you say, "Oh my God, like that's that guy." There's a 2017 guy. It's incredible. But then he'll make 3 bad plays during the course of a game, 1 or 2 that kill you. And I just think that's who he is at this point. And he does have good weapons. He does. He's got talent around him, for sure. But I just don't think he knows any other way. All right, let's dive into this is week 12, guys. It's Thanksgiving now we're up to, believe it or not.
True.
So, yeah, it doesn't go fast. So there's got 3 games on Thursday. The early game, the usual, is Detroit. They get Buffalo. Kind of interesting, right? They get the Bills and the Lions in the noon game. Then you have the Giants and Dallas are your middle game in Dallas. And then the nightcap's nice. Patriots and Vikings in Minnesota. So they're your 3 just to start your Thursday off in between turkey. Not bad. All things considered. Even the Detroit game's kind of interesting with Buffalo.
I think that game will be interesting for about a half. and then Buffalo puts that one away.
Yeah, Buffalo's just bye. By the time dessert's served, that's over, or is that
right? I think the better game is going to be, like you said, Patriots Vikings. But I really think that the Giants might sneak up on the Cowboys.
There you go.
I don't think they'll be totally vested in that game.
Okay, I like it. Interesting. Real good. Here comes some good ones, man. After that, Bucks Browns. Depending, at that point you could see Deshaun Watson back. Bucks Browns, Bengals Titans.
Oh yeah,
good one. Broncos Panthers, Chargers Cardinals, Rams Chiefs, Saints 49ers. Sunday night Packers Eagles Gunner.
Woo!
Monday night Steelers Colts. Like, I'm just glossing through these, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 great games again every week.
8 easy.
Yeah.
8 easy games. I mean, it's you got teams fighting for their lives, man. You got teams fighting for the bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Bengals Titans game is going to be unreal.
Yeah, it is
unreal because this is where things start falling in position as far as jockeying position for the playoffs. Around week 12 and on, this is where you jockey for playoff berths. So now the Titans Bengals really, really do have a lot to prove. And then you got the bottom seller Bears against the Jets. The new coach on the block with the Bears, and then you got coaches trying to get this team better with the Jets. I mean, I like that matchup. That's going to be a great matchup.
Man, by that point of the season, the Bears may be firing the head coach. Man, that team is atrocious.
Yeah, they have such a lack of talent on that team overall. Man, I feel bad for Justin Fields. Like, he may have a terrible year, and it may not be his fault one bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It may be one of these deals where you just like, this dude's out there alone
by himself.
They have no pass catchers. Offensive line is a mess. Defense, you got Roquan Smith that didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Dude, it could be ugly. It could be ugly.
Even on the broadcast the other night, whatever they were playing a national game, and the announcers are like, "Yeah, I mean, the GM basically just told us like they don't have any depth. Like they were not even like
No,
Hide
Trying
it.
to hide it,
not even trying to hide it. Yeah.
No. So
Well, a friend of ours, Deuces Rogers, is from Chicago, and every year, he and I go at it, texting back and forth. I don't expect to hear from him the whole season.
no, I think it'll be quiet. Deuces will be quiet. Yeah, I don't see that. Yes, I agree. Yeah, not a lot of bragging rights there. That's for sure.
Super Bowl battle, Chiefs Rams from 2 years ago.
Oh, jeez, man, it's awesome. Even Monday night, Steelers Colts, like that. That Eagles Packers game. I know we're gonna have a pretty good handle of what the Eagles look like by that point, but that's another great test. Like, how far has this defense come? Are you just going to be shredded again by another, quality quarterback, by another future Hall of Famer? So we'll have an idea on all those kind of things. All right,
Rodgers calling out everybody in Green Bay. Everybody is a young passer. He's calling everybody out.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go after him.
No.
All right, when we come back, news on a couple of coaches. One famous high school coach, one famous college coach. I'll tell you who the leader in the clubhouse is for the Heisman. There may be a sale of a Major League Baseball team, which will make some people happy. And we'll get into some birthdays, including a friend of the show. All right. So you don't want to go anywhere. We got a lot. We're going to do in the last segment. So don't go anywhere. We are Sports Take. Derek, Barrett, Rob, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
All right, final segment of the show. Time flies when you are having fun. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis with you on this Tuesday. All right, so let's hit a couple of these things, guys. Gary Gaines. It's a name you may not know when you first hear it. You say to yourself, what? Gary Gaines. Gary Gaines was the coach from the Friday Night Lights book by Buzz Bissinger, which became a movie, which became a very successful TV show. But he was the head coach of that high school team in Texas that they chronicled in that year in 1988. They actually won it the following year, but they chronicled them in 88. He passed away, sadly, just 73 years old from Alzheimer's and had a lot of health issues the last couple of years anyway. But he coached all around Texas in high school. He coached at Texas Tech as an assistant, a couple stops in the college game, and was always well regarded everywhere he went. He some of the stuff that went on there, you guys know Texas football is insane. He was a guy who put up with a lot of crap. He would lose a football game. There'd be a for sale sign on his lawn. People would destroy his house. Like you go through a lot, especially in those days. And that guy's he's pretty well known. He became Coach Taylor in the movie, and I think in the TV show, but his real name was Gary Gaines from Friday Night Lights. So
yeah, and the thing about it is he left Permian High School the year after he won that state championship. He coached him to a perfect 16-0 record.
Yeah, in 89. That was 89. Yep.
And went to Texas Tech. And he actually went back to Permian in 2009. So there was a 20-year gap. And his journey over that 20 years is incredible. He was like athletic director for school district and all these other prominent jobs. There was a 20-year gap from when he left Permian to when he came back, and there was a 10-year gap from when he left Permian and coached high school football again, because he also coached a few other high schools before he got back to Permian. But great book, great storyline. I love the movie. One of my favorite football movies. Yeah.
Great performance by Billy Bob as Gary Gaines, and
it was.
I thought Tim McGraw was really good as the kind of crazy over the top father for the running back.
Yeah.
He was good,
Tim McGraw, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
I didn't even know
he was the fullback's father, not Booby Miles, but the fullback.
Yeah.
And he was good.
The crazy little dude.
Took the ring and throw it in the ditch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My man.
This is my championship ring. He's drunk.
Correct.
Zinged it in the ditch.
He was a glory days back in my day. I won it. You need to win it too. Pressure on the kid. Whatever. So
I was never that guy.
You can't be that guy.
No, I was never that guy.
Yeah,
I never want to. I told my kids, if you want to play, you can play. If you don't, hey, it just doesn't matter. It's just not that important to jeopardize my relationship with my kids over them playing football. Because I couldn't put those type of expectations, because I didn't have no expectations on me.
Right.
My parents didn't. They didn't make. Well, my mom made me play football, but they didn't expect me to be great. You know what I'm saying? My expectation was, all right, you're playing because I'm gonna get you out of the streets. You're not allowed to be out kicking it. You know what I'm saying? And be a ruffian or somebody that's gonna be in the streets all the time. I want you to have your time occupied by sports. So that's why she made me play. But it wasn't saying I had to be great.
That's a credit to you that you didn't force your kids because you played the game. You weren't one of those guys who was calling a coach saying, "Why isn't my kid play?" Like I respect that, man. I'm serious. I do. I respect the hell out of that you handled yourself that way.
What's wrong with Matt Ruiz, man?
No. Bear's mom said he had to do something because he was too busy running away from home.
No, but seriously though, I couldn't put that type of pressure on my kids because they already had that type of pressure. Oh, your dad played NFL.
Sure.
He won a Super Bowl, even as far as success I've had, I have an MBA in healthcare administration. I've obtained a lot in my life. I have 2 Emmys. I've been very successful. I thank God every day that I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do and accomplish things I've accomplished. But I don't have that same expectation on my kids. I will put them in position to be as successful as they want to be. But you cannot make them be anything other than what they're going to be.
Right.
Than what they want to do.
Respect.
So,
yeah, bottom line, respect. Nick Saban, 8-year contract extension worth $94 million for the 8 years. It'll start at 10.7 and go up.
Come on, man.
A lot of coin. Look, he's that guy, but that's a lot of coin.
Bro, he's now making more or the same amount as Belichick.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
he's a GOAT, but he's making more than the pro coaches now. Well, quote unquote pro coaches. He's a pro coach. Make no mistake.
First of all, you're at a program. You're at a program that has deepest pockets in all of college football.
Yep.
In terms of alumni and money put in there. So money's not an object for that university. Second of all, this coach has had his team in the conversation of national championship for like what, the last 15, 20 years straight?
Absolutely.
In college football. Thirdly, he turns out not just professionals, but I'm talking Pro Bowl professionals.
Studs. Yeah.
I mean, studs anywhere on the field. You're talking about wide receiver, linebackers, D linemen, safeties, corners. This dude is getting the best of the best every year for that program.
Record, because his record dictates that they do. You can't just walk up in there. And I'm gonna say they don't have the deepest pockets of me, because there are teams that their supporters will invest however much it will take for them to be the best. Like USC.
That's what they got deep pockets, bro. They got deep pockets.
USC is unbelievable how much money they make.
But USC
Notre
doesn't get
Dame,
the caliber of players. That's what I'm saying.
Because they don't have the quality of coach like a Nick Saban. Nick Saban turned that program around again.
Right. That's why he's worth that money.
Yeah.
Because of what he's done for that program.
I'm still trying to get you to, put me on board with making that money too, D-Gun.
Why
can't you lift and then pull me as you're climbing?
Barrett, you got more money than I'll ever see, bro. Stop it.
What are you talking about?
Stop it, Brooks. Stop it. Don't make
Eric,
me.
I made money over 12 years. I made money over 12 years.
You've been making money in TV for years too. You ain't pulling that on me. Barrett,
Eric,
don't make me go to your wife's post on Facebook that she posted yesterday about your newest toy. Don't make me go to Facebook.
Bro, used.
I don't care. I don't care.
What do we get? What do we get? A boat? What do we get?
No. I don't want to do. I don't want to go there.
Okay,
you're forcing me to go there.
All right,
I don't want to go there.
Hey, here's the bottom line.
Look, he's blushing. Look, Rob, he's blushing. Look, Rob. Look,
they're all used, man.
I don't care.
I have to fix up. Fix her uppers.
I don't care. I don't care. I saw the inside of that thing too. I'm like, what?
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help Barrett.
Thanks, Derek.
If the colleges didn't have the money, they wouldn't be paying these guys.
Thanks, Derek.
You started it.
All right, Rob. What you saying, Rob?
I said if the colleges didn't have the money, they wouldn't pay these guys that much. Bottom line.
Exactly.
All right. So CJ Stroud is the favorite right now to win the Heisman, the Ohio State quarterback. I can't argue with that. Sounds about right to me. He's the guy I would want if I had the first overall pick as we sit here right now.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, you can see Stroud. Why would you go with Alabama's quarterback?
Because he's small. He's not that big, Barrett.
SMO.
Well, look.
Hey, Russell Wilson was small. What did Russell Wilson do? Russell Wilson was small.
I'm not saying he can't make it. I'm just saying if I have my druthers, I'll take Stroud right now. And
yeah, he would have to be the odds-on favorite.
He's got some talent, man. That is for sure.
Yeah, he does.
All right, so let's hit some birthdays. How about our guy Hugh Douglas? The big 5'1".
Yeah, big Hugh.
What? All right.
Hugh,
yes.
baby.
Yep. Eagles Hall of Famer, friend of the show. He's 51 years old.
One of his most famous lines ever. It's do or die.
Do or die. Do or die.
I'm standing right in this locker.
You do or die, Derek Gunn.
Do or die. It's do or die.
Great.
I jacked it. I jacked it.
I was with Jim Miller. Yep.
Man.
Yes, he did.
He was crazy, man.
The biggie, sadly, Kobe Bryant, born in 78, would have been 44 years old today. Still hard. That one's still hard to believe. It's still
wow. Can't believe
2 years, whatever it is later, and you just saying to yourself like, what? So
dude, when that first hit the Twitter wires, I'm thinking this can't be right. It's got to be a misprint. And that's a bad joke for somebody to put out there. So this can't be right. All of a sudden, the feed just starts blowing up, man.
Yep.
And people just went crazy.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, still a young man, and his daughter, gone.
Can't be. That's crazy.
There's still, and the thing is that unfortunate timing is still relevant because right now, I believe his wife is in court trying to get access to photos that the examiners were taking at the crash site to make sure that they never get out to the general public. Man, nobody wants to see that, man. Come on.
It's awful. They were passing around sites of the scene. And
man.
Just gross. I mean, just gross. You get sometimes you just wonder about human beings. Someone is enjoying that, getting a kick out of that. That's some. I
don't know if it's so much somebody's enjoying it, more so the fact that there are people out there that actually want to see it.
Yeah,
and
you just sickos, man.
Yeah, and somebody can make a buck off of something like this.
Gross. It's just like I said, just sick. Anyway, so yeah, R.I.P. Kobe. Happy birthday. Seth Curry, former Sixer, 32 years old today. He'll be playing with Ben, as we mentioned, and now looks like Kevin Durant. River Phoenix would have been 52. Remember the actor River Phoenix? He left us way too young. He was 23 or 22 when he died.
Yeah, man.
Sadly.
Dude, how would you like to have been in that family in the boys' names? Now, River actually is the oldest brother of the four brothers.
Right.
And the brothers' names River, Rain, Joaquin, Liberty, and Summer. I'd be like, when I get to be an adult, I'm changing my name. I'm sorry. I got to change.
Say them again?
Yeah.
The names of all the brothers were River, who was the oldest. He died at the age of 23.
Yep.
Then there was Rain, Joaquin, Liberty, and Summer.
Yeah, the parents were they lived like on a commune. They were kind of hippies.
Yeah.
Little different. Yeah, that's for sure. All right, I'll rip through these kind of quick. Derek's favorite, Lil Yachty. He was born in 1997. I know you're a big Lil Yachty guy. You're just rapping you're just grooving to Lil Yachty all day long.
I'm like, who you talking about?
Lil Yachty, that's your guy. Come on,
Lil Yachty.
Yeah, that's your guy. Shelley Long from Cheers, 73.
Yeah.
Keith Moon, who was the drummer from The Who, he died a long time ago. Was born in 46. Barbara Eden, I think she's still alive from I Dream of Jeannie.
Yep.
91.
Yep.
Taysom Hill's 32. Trace McSorley, is 27. Rick Springfield.
Yep.
The singer-actor, 73. Gene Kelly, who was the singer-dancer, was born in 1912. I think that's all I got. You got anything, Gunner?
Yeah, Juan Manuel Marquez, considered one of the top 13 fighters ever. I believe he was only the second Mexican fighter to be a champion in 4 different weight classes. And his three battles with Manny Pacquiao, he beat Manny Pacquiao. Now, they had 4 fights. And Pacquiao went 2-1-1 against him. One ended in a draw. He actually beat Pacquiao, and Pacquiao beat him. But he was a champion in 4 different weight classes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Very impressive. Yeah. Movies, Angel Has Fallen, Snatch, Teen Wolf, and Better Off Dead. That's about all I got.
Hey, man, you left out a great birthday, man.
Who was it?
Jeremy Lin. Remember 2012?
Linsanity.
Yes. He's the one that helped propel the Knicks to the playoffs that year.
Yes, he did. Good point. All right, we're out of time, man.
Yeah. Also, one last River Phoenix, one of the best movies ever made. And I know it's not the day that came out, but Stand By Me, man. That was
one of my all-time favorites. I'm serious. One of my all-time favorites. Me too, man. Yeah, great call. All right, fellas, it was fun. We're back at it tomorrow. We'll have a check-in from Miami with John McMullen, among everything else we're going to be doing. But good job to you guys today. Thanks to Xander for producing. Thanks to everybody in the chat, everybody listening, everybody streaming. We will talk to you tomorrow at 12 Eastern. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Have a great day.